Wendy Bell Radio is live.
It's so stupid. It's like when I smile during anywho.
Yes, that is stupid.
I can't help it. I was supposed to write something for you that I have not written, so I'll have to do that for you today. My apologies. Hello, beautiful people. How are you? It is so great to be with you. Good afternoon. Welcome. Number 6 yesterday. Can I tell you about one of my boyfriends? Okay. It's not what?
Which one?
Oh, well, I'll tell you. It's not Gail. Hi, Baba. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's not him. It's Alan. Alan is my data guy. Alan makes spreadsheets. He makes rundowns. He makes projections. He crunches numbers. He looks at things. He models. He's like, how many do we need? How many people liked us during the show? How many people after the show? He's all over it, and he gives me projections on where we're going and when he thinks we might hit 100,000. I was hoping that we would around Easter, around my birthday. It's not going to happen. It looks like it's not going to happen maybe until this summer. So look, here's a great way for you to support us. If you haven't, it's free. You don't have to do anything. You just have to click that follow button underneath the video box and then Rumble, hit the thumbs up button. But he says we could be, and this is even more glorious to me. Do I want to hit it today? Yeah, of course. 100,000 followers. Do you know how many people on Rumble have 100,000 followers who are not named Trump? Right? It's not that many. And I will be delighted when it happens. He said it might be around America's 250th birthday. So I'm very excited about that. I'm having a power surge at the moment, so I'm going to turn on my little air conditioner. Hold, please. Oh, you son of a mother. It's not connect. Hold on.
Wow. It's actually nice out, so I'm assuming the heat will kick on today, since when it's freezing outside, the AC kicks on. So since it's nice outside, I'm assuming the heat will kick on.
Oh, yeah, right?
It seems to be the way it is.
So I thought I would wear, I don't know, I like to keep you guys on your toes. Now that Newsmax isn't a factor, and I really enjoyed them because they paid me a lot of money to put a camera in here and spy on us on our show. And I was like, sure, you can do that. Check, please. Anywho, since they're not here anymore, I can wear whatever I want. I could do whatever I want. I can say and be and all of that. I know. Super sassy. I know. All right.
No golf tomorrow.
No, I've got something going on. And he's all upset. You know, we used to be on Fridays, we would go out for lunch and a couple of beers.
Yeah, right.
Beers with, lunch. Now we're done at 3, and by the time I get home in traffic, it's 4. And then I start making dinner, and then it's 5:30, and then that's like the day is over, and you're like, okay, right? How are you guys?
Say day's over.
Well, it kind of feels like it, but it's good. It's good. Like I'm very pleased with this new schedule. How do you guys like it? It was a huge risk, right? When we're like, well, I hope they follow us because we need to do something for our own wellness. And look at you guys.
I like it. I think it's
healthier.
Yeah, I think it'll be much easier when it starts getting later, staying later longer. Like, because it 8:30, 9 o'clock. I made it till 9:10 last night.
Hey, Acer, I see you from Arizona. Oh, no, Altoona. Excuse me. You said Altoona here. There's a difference, right? It's great to have you. Thank you. Hi, Tiedman. What's going on, Michael Morpheus? Hello, Bill, Fred, and Murtek. Murtek's here. Murtek, you didn't raid me, did you? No more orders from Newsmax to straighten your beautiful curls. To hear. Yes, thank you. Thank you. You know what? I really dislike doing that. I really dislike the whole blowing out my hair. I remember when they put the camera in here at first, and they're like, is that how you're going to look? And I was like, yeah, that's how I'm going to look. And they're like, how about, and didn't I have like a CNN sucks shirt on, and they made me take it off. And I was like, really? Like, their camera didn't come down that low. I'm like, I know what it says. Anyway, so I took it off. But then they're like, can you like blow out your hair every day? No, I can't. No, it's going to be like this.
People were saying they like the mornings better.
Oh.
You liked your routine.
Yeah, you liked your routine. I get it.
So do I.
I get it.
This is much.
We're into a new one, and I'm so glad that you guys are here. Thank you. Hello, April Jones. What's up, Patriot? Mike. All right, today's the day. I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to borrow or steal. We're going to get to 3,000 freaking rumbles, and we're going to do it expeditiously. And we're not going to make excuses, and we're just going to do it just the way we want Trump to make the right decision.
Uh-oh.
I'm kind of on the fence about
She's
that.
angry.
No, I'm not angry. I'm just like, this
it's
is
Thursday. Thank God it's not Friday. If she was this way on Friday, I'd be threatened.
This is the battle of MAGA and, draining the swamp and the deep state establishment. And this whole, well, I'll give you the SAVE Act if you give me John Cornyn. I kind of feel like that's John Thune right now. And it's like, I never liked you. I was curious why the president dealt with you, but I don't like you. I don't know how you guys feel. We'll find out together. You guys get to decide. Let's see where we are. We should be starting with 1.5.
I wouldn't give anything up to get the SAVE Act. You shouldn't have to. That's the
100%
problem with Washington.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America, and greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. I always say the same thing opening this up. It feels so repetitive, but it is so everything that I feel. Like, I want to talk to all of you across the country. I want you guys to hear and see the things that I do, and I want you to correct me if you think I got it wrong. And that's the whole thing on this show, which I love. Brock and I get to go out, we get to scour the news, we get to collate it, present it to you the way we want. And it's always common sense conservative values. It's not controversial, right? It's not difficult. And you guys come back day after day, and I'm delighted you are. Okay? And so happy that you do. Okay, WendyBellRadio.com. It's how you follow along. And this is our biggest day, Thursdays, the biggest day for our podcast. If you've not gone into your favorite podcast store, wherever it is, and you've not downloaded Wendy Bell Radio, please do. We usually get 10,000 podcast downloads on Thursday, and I'd love your help. Thanks for being a part of the program. Thank you for being part of my family. And welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. So I had to go yesterday to the AAA Motor Center headquarters, whatever, in my neighborhood. So this is where you go if you needed triptychs. You guys remember the old triptychs? I remember those where they'd put construction and speed traps and your mom would like leaf through it and dad was driving and they'd be arguing. Oh, maybe that was just my life, right? But you go there now, you get your real ID renewed, your driver's license, all of this jazz. And my birthday's coming up next month. And right before I turn 56, it expires. In fact, it's on my birthday. And so I had to go and do a renewal. Yesterday, 4:00 in the afternoon, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the AAA Center in East Liberty. And you know what? I don't shout out local people in my community because this is a national program. But I want to tell you that everything happening inside of that little facility, the people who work there, completely defies the narrative that the mainstream media is desperate every single day with every newspaper they print and every newscast at night to tell you the story of how much America hates itself. How much we hate each other, judge each other, fight each other, blah, blah, blah. That's not the story. Don't pick that up. And I have the proof of it. So this little AAA center is just a couple miles from my house. So I swung by on my way after work. And I went in there and I had all my paperwork. It's not that complicated. And the people, everybody who works there is black. Everybody who works there is pleasant. Everybody who works there that I came across is helpful and positive and friendly and all of this. And they always have been. I've lived here for 20 odd years, almost 30 years, Pittsburgh. This one little place, I don't know what the secret sauce is. Immediately, the woman at the reception desk, Wendy Bell, I haven't seen you in forever. How you been? Right? Go to pay my whatever. Wendy, it's so great to see you. How are you? What are you doing these days? I sit down waiting for my call to go take my picture, which always looks stupid, but whatever. And there's nobody else there. And a gentleman sits down next to me, literally right next to me. I look around and I'm like, there are 45 other chairs here. This gentleman sat right next to me. Black guy. He's wearing a ski cap, work clothes, work boots, pleasant man, salt and pepper beard. You're the news lady. You're the news anchor, aren't you? I said, I am. Hi, I'm Wendy. What's your name? My name is Sydney. Hi, Sydney. It's great to meet you. We sit there and it's a little awkward, right? Well, he said, I'm thinking about getting out of Pittsburgh. I'm kind of had it with the snow and the politics here. Buy me a place in North Carolina. I said, really? That's awesome. He's like, it's flat. Just a piece of property. I'm going to clear the trees myself. I'm going to save the money. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get me one of those real nice double wides. And I was like, yeah, I hear some. Those are really nice. He's like, you been inside one of those? He says it's perfect. It's got a bedroom, got a bathroom, got a nice kitchen, good space for all my stuff. I said, well, are you alone or do you live alone? Are you married? And he said, you remember that accident on Route 51, 2019? I didn't. I looked at him in the eyes and he looked me square in the eyes. That was my daughter. She got killed in a head-on crash. It's not been the same since. I'm ready to get out of here, I think. Oh my gosh, what do you say to that? I'm like, I can imagine so. He said, you know, she just had 2 babies, twins. They were 9 months old when my daughter died. And I've been working to raise them with my son-in-law, doing the best I can. I can't even imagine. What do you say to that? All I did is look in his eyes. Absolutely amazed. He went on to tell me about this new property he was going to buy in North Carolina, how he's going to put this thing on it, and he's going to have enough space for the boys to come down. He says, you know what I call them? Their names, the twins, migraine and headache. And I'm like, I love you. And he proceeded to tell me, literally, I'm waiting for the woman to call me, Wendy, to take my picture for my real ID, but nobody calls me. There's nobody else doing anything, right? It's like the world stopped in this weird vacuum, and it's Sydney and me. And he's like, you know what? I'm one of 17 kids. I'm like, what? 17 kids? He said, yep, I'm right in the middle. 8 brothers, 8 sisters. I'm number 9. I'm like, what? He starts telling me all this stuff. Why? I have no idea. What do you say to that? Woman calls my name. Miss Bell? I get up and I said to him, well, sir, it's a pleasure to meet you. Holy cow. You sound like a magical individual, and I wish you only the very best on that beautiful new property. You have fun in that double wide, you hear? And he said, I've always appreciated you. And I went to go take my picture. What was that? What was that? I don't know. You ever stop every now and again? Just kind of feel the vibe of the people around you? Because they're not how the media tell us. They're not what the world says they are. And you know what? I tend to like the ones that look the least like me. I'm interested in them. I don't know. Do I send that out as a vibe? I don't know. But I carried Sydney with me all night long. I went home, started making dinner. I'm thinking about Sydney, a man with 16 brothers and sisters. Why did that man come into my life? You know, later this month is the 10th anniversary of me leaving a television job because I was accused of being a racist. It's been a wild ride to watch the world, to watch cancel culture in that decade, to see the news and to see the media fall apart, to watch politics more clearly with COVID and whatnot. But it made me angry, my experience yesterday at that AAA motorist center in my community. Those were all black people. None of them had a problem with me, and none of them did 10 years ago. We don't look at each other through weird eyes like that. Some people do, but they're fringe, they're outliers, and we don't give them a lot of oxygen. But you know what our societies are? It's good people. People would help you if they could and would if you asked. People who want to pitch in. People who love their sons and daughters. People who go through the same crap that you and I do. People who struggle. And sometimes people who just want somebody to talk to. Sydney, I know you don't know I do this for a living now, sir. But I'm going to talk directly to you because I can. Thank you. Thank you. It seems like whenever you have something on your heart, something going on in your mind, if you settle it down a little bit, you'll always find somebody else who's paddling upstream a little bit harder than you are. That is the story of America, the kindest, most gentle, most giving, generous, faithful, loyal, hardworking, innovative, creative, outside the box thinkers. And if you ever have an occasion to go back and read the founding documents, you'll hear the voice and the brains of men who were so smart. It's no wonder America is such a beautiful place. So today, as we march through the rigmarole of Capitol Hill behaving like the clown car it is, the circus, I'm going to think about Sydney today and hope he's ever closer, day by day, to realizing that dream. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, do you guys feel the news vacuum? It's like there's this weird thing in the air and it sucked out everything again. Okay, what's coming? I don't know, but a new poll suggesting who the Republicans should get behind in this Texas Senate race. Oh boy, next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. It's preposterous. It's almost predictable. You're like, this is about the time there's got to be a poll that drops. It's supposed to sway us or tell us that this is the way it's supposed to be with this Texas primary, this runoff between Cornyn and Paxton. And I'm sure you guys can imagine who this poll says is much more of a danger and a threat to the Democrats. Therefore, he must be the one Donald Trump endorses. We'll talk about it. All right, I want to talk about ghost bed. You know, I know there are a few of you out there, and it's time. Your mattress has not an unlimited lifespan. I'm going to say it's probably good for 10 to 15 years, maybe, and probably not that long if you're heavier. We just kind of mush it and it loses its zhuzh, and then you start waking up and you feel lousy. It just so happened that as my son Michael was complaining about this crap mattress that I didn't realize he had dragged back, stuffed into his car from Clemson University like 4 years ago when he graduated, and brought home and threw into his room. I had totally forgotten about this. This bed was poop. And then Rumble's like, hey, Ghost Bed wants to talk to you. I'm like, in. Now, I didn't expect them to send me this beautiful hybrid mattress, but they did. They asked me, what do you think? What's your vibe? Do you like firm? Do you like soft? Do you like together? Do you like a hybrid? There's this, there's that. Choose what you want. It's not that complicated. So I went online and I was like, beep, beep, beep. Like literally in 10 minutes, I had decided, I think that's the one we want. And in a week, it showed up in a box. Jack dragged it upstairs. It wasn't a big deal. We open it up. Whoop, it opens up like a I don't know, like a fruit roll up, right? And you let it sit and it zhuzhes up and fuzzes up a bit, fluffs up, and then it's golden and you're ready to go. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. They send you this owner's guide. There's nothing to know. It's brainless. It is easy. And they're giving you a 101 night sleep night trial. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. You're going to get 10% off. Use my name. Drop my name. Don't wait. Try this company. I think you're really going to like it. And American made, American family run, good values. And the guy who invented it had bad back pain. He's like, this sucks. I'm going to make my own mattress. That's the guy I want making what I sleep on. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. By the way, all of you who've tried tulipblooms.shop, thank you. Oh, you're going to love it. I cannot wait for your feedback. I'll tell you about that coming up. All right.
I didn't get any today.
I know. I noticed that you didn't take a hit.
I'm just not going to assume.
You're getting one of your own. Okay? But I should be a real tool, and I'll give you the one that's partially used. And I'll take
would I be surprised? I mean, really.
You better take that back.
I'm not.
I do. I know nothing about these people, but I know it's been like 5 weeks. They still haven't found missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. The story took 4 weeks of our attention. Well, if you were paying attention. And I did. I popped in and out. And we've got no resolution. It almost makes me feel as though that was placed there before us to keep us busy, to keep us doing something so something else could be happening. I hate feeling like that. Do you guys ever get suspicious like that? I do. Literally, Brock and I woke up this morning and we're on the computer talking to each other from our respective living rooms or what have you. And I'm like, there's nothing going on. He's like, it's wild. Something's brewing. And I agree. So as we all kind of wonder what the bomb is going to be that drops, and so help us God, let it not be one of those. It's interesting that just like that, poof, we've got this critical decision by the president of the United States. And quite frankly, conservatives are paying very close attention to this. This is the Texas Senate primary, Republican primary runoff. As you know, neither James or John Cornyn, the rhino incumbent, right, who is an anti-Trumper who always said Trump cannot win, whatever, all this jazz. It's him against clear Make America Great Again, America First Again, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. And I'm in this weird position right now. We're going to talk about it coming up after the break because I think that there's some kind of a negotiation on that you and I aren't privy to, and it pisses me off. We know who we want. With Wesley Hunt out of it, I don't see how Ken Paxton cannot win. Unless there's some sneaky, snaky, deep state establishment sucky deal being maneuvered behind the scenes. And when I read this from Newsweek today, I was like, okay, I get a vibe. Let's see if you guys are tracking the same vibe. Here it is from Newsweek. Headline. Remember, they tell you what they want you to know. Polls tell you what they want you to believe so that when something happens, you're more amenable to that outcome, right? It's not like a what? Here's the headline, Newsweek. James Tallarico's chances of beating John Cornyn versus Ken Paxton. So this Tallarico guy is scary as stones. He, I guess, fancies himself some prophet or some, I don't know, pastor. And he talks about the right of transgender men to have abortions. And you're like, dude, that's called bat crap crazy because men don't have uteruses. But other than that, I'm sure he's swell. Whom do you believe Newsweek wants you to think would be the logical person to beat James Tallarico? That's not what this article is telling us, but they're projecting it for us right now. You ready? Texas Republicans may face a competitive race in the 2026 Senate election in November against Democratic State Representative James Tallarico, who secured his party's nomination on Tuesday, according to polls. Okay, so they want you to believe that this Democrat rep from Texas is now going to be the guy who's going to take over, and he's going to beat John Cornyn or whomever the Republican candidate for Senate ends up being. While Tallarico received enough votes to avoid a runoff against Representative Jasmine Crockett, no duh, right? Republicans will again face off in a runoff in May, as no candidate received 50% of the vote. Senator John Cornyn and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who challenged him from the right, advanced to the runoff. Why does this stuff it doesn't seem to happen all that much on the left. It's like they choose who they're going to have. They've got it all scheduled out. This is how it's going to be. Your vote never matters, of course, because they've already got it all figured out. See, that's the crap that America wants to stop. Right there, full stop. I don't have to tell you about this poll because they're trying to tell you that it's actually, let me read this. The question of electability will loom over that GOP runoff. Some Republicans are concerned that Ken Paxton, who leads many early polls on the runoff, would be a weaker general election candidate than Cornyn, who is well known among Texas voters and has easily won re-election in the past. He's a freaking deep state hack rhino. That's why Newsweek is all in Cornyn's basket. All of their eggs, all of it in Cornyn's basket. Why? Because it's about the deep state. It's about not upsetting the cart. It's about status quo. It's about business as usual. It's about protecting their own asses. Why else would the House vote down a measure, a resolution, which everybody who's not a sexual predator should get behind, that merely said, hey, we need to flush out who these people are, elected representatives who are accused, whether credibly or not, of sexual misconduct. There should not be a veil of secrecy. And you know the ones who voted that down? These are the same jags who were out there banging on the Epstein files doors, the ones demanding Pam Bondi's head, the ones who say, believe all victims. But when it comes to credible victims, against their own cronies, their own pals and buddies, well, now that's a bridge too far. We're not going to go that far. I mean, that's a little crazy. Don't make us do that. So what do we have here? We have a vacuum of news. We have a war in Iran. We have Vladimir Zelensky now sending Ukrainian intelligence experts to the region where this Operation Epic Fury is being waged to help the offensive, to basically saddle up next to President Trump, obviously, yes? But nevertheless, supporting the effort to eliminate all the whack jobs in Iran who want to kill us. And you need to know that the smart move, according to Newsweek, is for John Cornyn to be the one. Which means decidedly that's the opposite of what we need to do. So let's talk about it. What does the president say? Is Ken Paxton going to drop out if the president endorses Cornyn? It's almost like days of our lives. Like sand through the hourglass. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. American ingredients, American made. Healing ingredients, things that are not pharmaceutical but are absolutely healing. There are so many cool things I could tell you about this velour massage oil. I'm just going to talk about this for a couple weeks before I introduce you to any other things at tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I am a very persnickety skincare person. I'm 55 years old. I've been taking very good care of my skin since I was probably about 12. Got into that, and I've been very regimented. So when a company comes out to me and they're like, hey, we do skincare, I'm like, really? See, I like the feel of what oil does to my skin without the greasiness. So I want to be able to have nice, soft, silky skin without like rubbing up against somebody and leaving a mark on their shirt, right? And so when the folks at Tulip Blooms got in touch with me and they're like, look, we love your show. We love that you're authentic. We really think you're going to like this product that we're making. And this is just one of many. Do you mind if we send you some? And I'm like, I'd love to get them, thinking like, whatever, then I can brush them off. When you use an entire bottle of a product, this is new. This is what I've used so far. I'm in love. When you use an entire product line and then you start getting a little agitated because it's out, that tells me that it's something that's worth getting behind. That is why I picked up the phone and I reached out to them and I'm like, hey, I want my people to hear about your products. I think they are extraordinary. And thus this partnership began. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. Throw in my name. You're going to get an extra 10% off. All right. I think this is really very moisturizing without that greasy feel. Let it absorb for about 5 minutes. Put it on your cuticles, your hands. It's meant to be a massage oil because it has glide. So it doesn't stick. It doesn't dry and like stick on your skin. I put it on my skin, not for massage, but because of how it feels. It feels like heaven. Heaven. Men, you like soft elbows and feet and hands too. I'm telling you, if you've got somebody in your life who's persnickety about skincare, tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. Go under the Soothe tab, drop down. I'm telling you, those things are, but they've also got some great stuff for people who have, I don't know if it's necessarily rosacea, that really red skin, and it's this blue ointment or what have you that takes it away. It settles it down, it cools it down, and huge for people. My mom had a really, really red nose. She was always putting products on her nose to dull the red, and it always looked fake because it never matched her skin color. This blue, I've got to figure out what it is and get it and talk about it because I think a lot of you would really very much benefit from it. So all of this, tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I really appreciate you supporting our sponsors, particularly those that I'm super geeked about. And this is the one. I'm super geeked about Ghost Bed. Super geeked about this. And this is a loyal, I want to be with you every day sponsor. Thank you. We don't do this without you guys. So you just got to give it a couple minutes, right? Before you start touching too much stuff, Brock. That's how I feel. And then you're not greasifying things because it absorbs into your skin. But you know how you get that dry winter cuticle that's just awful? And if you pick out one of them, it hurts like a son of a mother. And you're like, God, what happened?
I'm going to say it again. If you're a dude.
I'm saying it. Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't some sunshine.
So, like how many of us are into skincare? Probably not many, but I'll tell you what, this is like a pedicure.
That's how your skin feels.
Yes. This is how my skin would feel after a pedicure. And you know what? I took a ribbing for that.
Don't care.
I was on my guys on my baseball team would take shots at me. I'm like, dude, you seem to think, one, that I care what you think. Two, you've obviously never had one. This is what my feet would feel like. So I would kind
of glide around for a while.
You don't want to put socks on. No, you don't. Like you want to walk around the house just with
and your feet in the sheets. When you put your soft feet with this in your sheets, clean sheets, Cozy Earth sheets.
See, I'm man enough to have a man card and use this at the same time.
And Brock thought I was a little weird for getting him Cozy Earth sheets until he started sleeping in them, right? I'm not even talking about them. I don't have a promo code for them or anything, but I'm telling you what.
These
are the indulgences that we have to grant ourselves, right? Because
that's
screw
the best
everybody
way of putting
else. Get it for you.
Like I would never I'd be hard pressed to spend money on things like for myself. Like
I get it. I don't do it either.
This
I'm super geeked for you to get your own bottle. So you're going to get, I just got the receipt. Do you want to know real quick? I don't know if I have time to tell you what's in it. Let me see. tulip.
I'd like this for my feet. I really would.
You're getting the beard oil. You're getting this. And you're getting 2 other things that I might steal from you because you don't know about yet.
I'm sure I'll get the bed after 6 or 7 years of use too. Hand-me-downs and leftovers.
Shut
That's
up.
Brock. True.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So this is so frustrating when you start paying attention to how the machine in Congress operates. And I'll be the first to tell you, I have no insider information. I talk periodically to our friend Sean Purnell, who is the Pentagon spokesman. He is the kind of the wingman for Secretary Hegseth. But he doesn't really give me granular data, nor would I ask. It's none of my business, right? But at 30,000 feet, if you get up above all the stupid headlines and the stuff, people protesting, et cetera, and you get up above the clouds and the storm systems, you can see very clearly what's going on. The Democrats and the Republicans, they are no different. They jaw around together. They're pals and buddies. They cover for each other all the time. Which makes you wonder, well, where is your allegiance? To other people in this chamber or to your voters who you are supposed to serve? George Santos, of all people, the guy who was basically excommunicated from the Republican Party for quote unquote being a fraud. That's rich, right? I mean, was he? Yes. Tip of the iceberg? Totally. He tweeted out something yesterday that I thought was salient. This is what he said. POTUS holds the cards now. Thune gets the Save America Act passed, and Trump saves his boy, Rhino Cornyn. American elections are saved, and Texas needs to bite the bullet for 6 more years and then move on. It's a fair trade, but only if the SAVE Act is passed in the next 2 weeks. Is it a fair trade? Why do you have to freaking negotiate? Why do we have to give in? Why do I have to sacrifice something that we want? Because you know what we want? And I'm going to make this very clear to the people in Congress who aren't paying attention to their electorate, who aren't paying attention to the men and women who they're supposed to represent. We want what we want. And his name, most assuredly, is not John Cornyn. Now, I don't believe you have to take it on the chin in order to get your way. But it seems that George Santos is suggesting that President Trump is going to make a deal. I'll give you 6 years of this jerk who if you get off your ass, John Thune, who plays the handsome, fit older man, right? He speaks with a certain kind of accent, makes him so folksy and homesy, right? Pass the SAVE Act, John. Get off your butt, John. He wants to save his buddy, John Cornyn. Why? Do you think John Cornyn is going to vote the way MAGA wants? The way this president wants? The way Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance, God willing, after 2028 want? I don't. And yet George Santos is telling you this is exactly the way it goes. Let's make a deal. Let's see. Trump is the deal maker. We'll see. Then here's John Thune, Senate Majority Leader, on with Martha McCallum on Fox yesterday. And he's almost like laughing about it. Like, well, we need to keep John Cornyn. You're so disconnected, my man. You don't listen to people. You are so insulated in that bubble called Capitol Hill. And you don't even care that everything that you're saying is against the will of Texas, which, by the way, Donald Trump won by 1.4 million votes. He beat Kamala Harris by 14%. And I should indicate that I believe Newsweek is the same outlet who told us that Kamala was going to win. Really. Here's John Thune proving that he seems a lot more snaky, doesn't he?
I've spoken with the president already today about Texas, and I'm certainly hopeful. I think, as probably you know, Martha, I've made no secret of the fact that I hope the president will endorse John Cornyn. He is an incredibly effective senator for the state of Texas, a strong conservative voice here in the United States Senate, and represents by far our very best hope of making sure that Texas stays red in November in that Senate election. And so we'll see. Ultimately, the president, he makes his own decisions, but I've certainly weighed in many times, I should say, in support of Senator Cornyn, and I believe he is not only going to win the primary, but the general election in November.
Yeah, I was just watching Matt Whitlock, who used to do the Republican Senate committee. He said he believes that an endorsement for Cornyn is coming from the president. You said you just spoke with him. Is it coming shortly, that endorsement from the president?
Well, I'm not going to characterize the conversations I've had with the president, but I think it's fair to say that he's paying a lot of attention, and he knows full well, Megan, how important it is that we hold Texas in Republican column, Republican hands, and so I expect you'll be hearing from him before too long, and I'm not certainly going to get ahead of that, but I'm just very hopeful that the endorsement will be for John Cornyn.
Wow. The guy who voted for Nancy Pelosi's January 6th witch trial? The guy who voted for the maximum penalty for January 6th defendants who were caught in a freaking trap? That guy is a common sense conservative, Senator Thune. Are you out of your ever-loving mind? That guy who likened January 6th to 9/11, who praised Biden for his calls for unity? Are you kidding? No. No. In fact, he's not. Brock, what were you going to say?
Did you hear him call her Megan?
Oh, geez.
He can't even get that right.
Oh, geez. So, we talk about this Liberty Score, this conservative review Liberty Score, and it was a great resource when it was functioning. It hasn't taken actual data in about 4 years. And what it did is it took every member of Congress, the Senate and the House, and it aggregated over 6, whatever votes. It showed you what the voting record of each member was, and it stacked it up with a thumbs up or a thumbs down on whether the person voted along conservative principles. And then based on that, the person received a numeric and letter score. If I'm not mistaken, John Thune is an F, but John Cornyn is an F. And the things that this dude has voted against that just don't make sense, he voted in favor of a lame duck budget busting spending bill under Joe Biden. Sorry, I couldn't push the button fast enough. He voted in favor of gun control. Does that sound like a common sense conservative to you? He voted for advancing gun control legislation closer to passage without even reading the bill. That's your conservative, John Thune, that you get behind. He voted to fund the war in Ukraine forever and ever, and then slapped an extra $40 billion onto it. He's voted to spend $300 billion on corporate welfare for chip manufacturers and politically connected groups. Like, he voted for the $1.5 trillion omnibus, right? This guy isn't conservative. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, clearly. Like, do they think we don't know that? He also said, Cornyn, back in 2024, that there was absolutely no way Donald Trump was going to win. We need to come up with an alternative, Cornyn said. I think President Trump's time has passed him by. And what's the most important thing to me is that we have a candidate who can actually win. Hey, John, suck it. What about that, Senator? Trump did win. And he won in Texas in monster form, securing all of Texas's 40 electoral votes with his largest margin in the state in over 2 decades. He outperformed Kamala Harris by about 1.6 million votes, and he drubbed her by 14%. And there's John Cornyn, who's supposed to be a Republican, who's supposed to be a conservative, according to John Thune. I don't think Donald Trump has it anymore. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. Really? Do tell us more. And then, after Donald Trump won, oh, there was John Cornyn all aboard the Trump train. Whoop, whoop, right? Congratulations to President Trump on his historic victory, he said. Texans have made their voices heard and have had enough of Democrats' failed policies and absent leadership. I'm confident President Trump will hit the ground running to restore the office of the president to what it should be, one that keeps the American people safe and prosperous. Well, if that'd be the case, then you should step aside and let Ken Paxton be the Republican candidate. Respectfully speaking, of course. And then this is Ken Paxton. He's talking to John Solomon on Just the News yesterday, I believe. And so John is asking him, he's like, look, so there's all this talk about, I don't know, if you let my guy Cornyn in, Thune will move now on the SAVE Act, right? What if the president puts his eggs in Cornyn's basket? He expects you to drop out. Is that your play? Oh boy.
So when you look at the vote, 60% of the people who voted last night voted against Cornyn, though he's been in office for a long, long time, 4 decades. What do you make of that? What message does that send? And what message do you want to send to the Republican base? President Trump said he's going to make an endorsement. Whoever he does endorse should drop out. I have a funny feeling you don't drop out under any circumstance.
No, I'm staying in this race. I owe it to the people of Texas. I've spent a year of my life campaigning against John Cornyn because John has not represented the people of Texas well. He's sided with Joe Biden on Second Amendment restrictions. He's sided with Joe Biden on bringing Afghan refugees to settle here without vetting them. But he's been against Trump in both of his elections, said he shouldn't run last time, that his day had passed. And, of course, he fought him on the border wall. He's been an amnesty guy. Everything that Trump stood for, John Cornyn's fought. But he was a big help to Joe Biden. The people of Texas, at least the Republicans, would like something different.
Oh, my Lord. Wait a minute. Is that a man who listens to the electorate? Is that a guy who hears what his people are saying, who watched what they did in November of 2024 when they absolutely slaughtered any kind of political ambition from the vacuous Kamala Harris, box checker that she is? Ken Paxton, I'm not going anywhere. No. I'm not here to serve even this president per se. I represent the people of Texas. And if the people of Texas want me, they're going to fight for me because they know I'll fight for them. Hour 2. Oh, actually, no, I was skipping ahead. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, so let me ask you, is John Cornyn a sheep in wolf's clothing? Well, when Jasmine Crockett gives you an endorsement, what does that tell you? Everything next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Look at me. I was already trying to bump ahead to the next hour, trying to hit the gas. I love Ken Paxton's approach. You know, I appreciate what this president is doing. But if passing the SAVE Act means taking it on the chin with another rhino for 6 more years,
isn't he like 75? No, do you guys know? Here we go with the, elderly.
No, he's 74.
So
he's 74. Do I need my cat
80.
to be 80 years old? Look, my father-in-law retired at 80. He's brilliant, right? He could have kept going 5 more years, but he's like, I actually need to spend some quality retirement time with my wife. And so that's what they did. John Cornyn, I'm going to tell you, he's like a lot of these other people. I don't want these people at 80 representing us at the end of their careers. Like, we need younger people. We need soldiers. We need freaking veterans. We need fighters. We need people who are willing to listen to we the people.
Not just that. Think of all what they're talking about, the AI age. You mean to tell me Cornyn is going to be all over that and understand any of it? I barely understand it. Take your Ovaltine and your pudding and leave Congress.
So yesterday we talked about this video and I misspoke. I said it was a 12-year-old boy and he's 16, right? And I told the story about this video I saw and how we had seen that some people were like, that's totally AI. Well, we're going to play it for you. We're going to play it for you and we're going to talk about the discussion about it. This is a very tricky time in our world because we've been propagandized for ever since we were born, right? But now it's like, how much will they be able to manipulate and create like this dreamscape for you that doesn't exist? It's scary as balls. What's not is bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I talked about it again with a new guy at the gym today who was huffing and puffing. He's a little bit older than I, but he's fit and he was really struggling. And I was like, dude, bloodflow7.com/Wendy. He's like, wow, a commercial. I'm like, no, not a commercial, a favor. I'm doing you a favor, right? And everybody in the gym was like, what is she talking about? And I'm like, let me tell you what I take every single day. I would never deceive you. I would never lie to you. What's in it? Do you get dependent on it? Do you get hooked on it? I'm like, you're going to get hooked on how you feel. But no, it's not like this. This isn't a pharma product. This is from Juvenon. It's bloodflow7.com/Wendy. And you take 2 capsules a day, probably around the same time every day if you can. And you notice because what's in it, the secret sauce is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that opens up your blood vessels in your arteries. I tell you every day this. I'm sorry it's boring, but it's so great. And you feel stamina and energy and you don't stop and you don't yawn and you're not like, it's amazing. And then at the end of the day, when it's time to turn off the lights, you sleep like a boulder. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Wendy 30% off. Also, the Alpha Gold Male for men has all about testosterone. I'm going to dig into that and tell you exactly what's in it because I'm always inclined to say it has testosterone. It's not, but it's intended to help you with yours. And it's phenomenal for men. I hear Brock take, oh no? Oh, he's
I have to.
He has to take his right
I
now.
hope if Trump endorses Cornyn, I hope he talks to Paxton, put him on the Supreme Court.
That's the only.
I'd take that.
I would take that because you've got to have a tit for a tat. All right. So we're gonna give you Rhino D-bag for 6 years.
D-bag, he is.
You know, not a lot of us out there in that category. And so I'm delighted that you find time to spend with us on this show. WendyBellRadio.com. Brock just brought up something that was really interesting. Look, Donald Trump is a kingmaker. He's a deal maker. He understands negotiating. He got 8 different conflicts, either to end or to begin the rapid wind down of killing each other, right? What does he know? What does he do? What is that magic? Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank. I remember her saying this. She's like, I've been in the room representing businesses that Donald Trump back in the day was trying to acquire. And she's like, he hones in immediately on whatever your weakness is. Whether you think you're hiding it or not, he senses it. And he uses that against you. But he's not ruthless. He knows that a successful deal involves everybody getting something and nobody feeling like they got nothing, right? Nobody walks away saying, I got so royally shafted, right? You get something you want, you give up something you don't want. So Brock just said, what did you say? What would be the deal that you would say would be okay? Or at least more amenable?
I would say if we got to put up with Cornyn, I would put Paxton on the Supreme Court.
So we know that Alito wants to bow out. We know Clarence Thomas, who has far outlived his family, right? He's going to be next. Hopefully not, because he's my favorite person ever. So Donald Trump's got some plans here. I could see that. Can you imagine a staunch MAGA jurist? Oh my gosh. That's where the sound comes from. That's where all tingly all over. Yes, I could see it. All right, so let's talk about this. There's some people you don't want in your corner, right? But they show you who they are and what the other people are. And it's Jasmine Crockett. If Jasmine Crockett says that she supports and would endorse John Cornyn is the deep stater. He is the establishment hack rhino. If you needed any kind of further edification, there you go. Here's a story from August of last year when all of this was getting going. Democrat Rep Jasmine Crockett praises John Cornyn, admits he's only pretending to be MAGA. Oh, do tell. Representative Jasmine Crockett, from Texas, of course, is facing criticism from conservatives after praising Senator John Cornyn during a recent MSNBC interview. I'm not criticizing her. Do talk, sweetness. We love hearing when you talk. It's like hearing, what's her face, AOC in Berlin discuss geopolitics, right? And what's going to happen if China moves on Taiwan? What are we going to do? Crockett claimed Cornyn's request. Oh, wait, let me read what she said. I actually don't hate Senator. Oh, wait, do you have the soundbite? We do. No? Do we, Brock?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not on the right page. All right, let's listen in, and then we'll talk about it on the flip side. Here's Crockett on MS Suck. Here you go.
Now, listen, I'm about to tell all of MSNBC a secret. I actually don't hate Senator Cornyn at all. And right now, what we have is a senator who actually is a real Republican who's doing everything that he can to make it seem like he's a MAGA Republican so that he can get through his primary. But Senator Cornyn, this is not him. This is somebody that sat on our Supreme Court in the state of Texas. This is somebody who typically works in a very bipartisan way, unlike Senator Cruz. This is somebody who is literally doing everything that he can to hopefully get some of that MAGA base. And so Senator Cornyn knows that the FBI can't get involved and ain't going to get involved as it relates to some little civil situation that was signed off on by the Speaker of the Texas House. But the MAGA base won't know that.
Wow. There's like so many layers of gross in there. You'd have to do a Venn diagram. Where's Kamala when you need her? Because she loves those. They're so great. What are those? Are those stars? You guys remember when she went to that? She had to do a commercial and they had to pay a bunch of kid actors because nobody wanted to be around her. And she couldn't walk into an environment where we're supposed to be looking through a telescope and looking up at the stars. She's like, ooh, what's that? And the kids were like, I'm going to go with stars. That's what I'm talking about. So Jasmine Crockett says it right there. John Cornyn isn't MAGA. He's just playing the part to get the votes, to win the primary, to limp to the finish line, to collect his riches, right, to retire at the ripe age of 80. Don't we deserve younger people? Don't we deserve better people? Isn't the Republican Party tired of people who suck? And the games, the John Thunes? See, you already know what to expect with the Democrats. That's why a John Fetterman is such a shiny metal object. It's such an interesting thing to diagnose and take it and pay attention to. It's refreshing. You don't bank on it, right? And then there's the other side, which continually lets you down. And there are a couple votes that just let us down, right? We're going to talk about those coming up on the broadcast. In the interim, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is next. Democrats go on the attack against America. Yeah. And Rand Paul does too. Time for that rhino to move along, don't you think? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I don't know if it's heat or air they're blowing on us. Is it air or heat? Is that air conditioning to you or is that heat?
Feels cooler.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm 74 million degrees. So anyway, all right, let me tell you that. Let me tell you about something. I want to read this about. So That's blood flow. That's GOP. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's that recovery one was so good. All right, Alpha Gold male. As men age, testosterone signaling, mitochondrial energy, and recovery decline. And that means weaker workouts, slower muscle repair, low motivation, and poor sleep. Wow, that sounds like a wonderful bag of tricks, right? Alpha Gold Male is built around ingredients that support the systems behind male performance. It includes ashwagandha, studied for mitochondrial I just did a mishmash, read 2 lines at once. Studied for supporting testosterone signaling, strength, resilience, and recovery. Some word that I can't pronounce. Fenugreek, zinc, magnesium. Yep, that's all there. Bloodflow7.com. All right. I feel sassy today. I'm starving. You know what I could go for? I'm going to drop it on you guys, and now you're going to be craving it.
French dip.
Yes! How did you know? I want you to see his nonplussed face right now. He's so not even impressed with himself. That's so bad. Am I that obvious? Do I always say I want a French dip?
No, you just haven't said it in a while. So I figured...
With that awesome salty au jus and little French fries.
I could probably get the leftovers.
Oh my gosh. I'm so annoyed that you just picked up on that. That means he's going to start looking like me. Like your dog starts looking at you like you. Thanks.
Well, I'll have to get my hair colored.
Yeah, so will I. All right, we had 2,000 Rumbles. We need 2.5. Let's go. 5,500 watching on Rumble. Do you guys think about that? We've lost about 35 to 40% of our viewers because of the time shift. And you guys still get us on the leaderboard every day. That's crazy. I'm not backed.
I would totally get the buffalo chicken.
I'm not backed by anybody. I'm backed by you guys. I love it. I love it. Let's go. All right, let's talk about... Who do you want me to talk about, Brock? Healthy Cell. Healthy Cell. Months ago, I ordered the joint health and mobility formula from Healthy Cell. Look, if you have issues where you do have arthritis, you feel that stiffness, and this happens, and for some people, it happens early, like after the age of 40. I'll be 56. I'll tell you, my joints are pretty good, but I do have arthritis. Joint health and mobility. I was getting tired of hurting, so I started to do research on what I could be doing to keep my 63-year-old joints healthy. I discovered that all of the supplements recommended I be taking were actually in Healthy Cell's joint health and mobility formula. So I saved all this money, chucked all of that, started taking this instead, and got completely hooked on it because I feel better, right? So much better. After a few weeks, I realized how much better I felt. I realized that by not being consistent with what I was doing, my body wasn't able to do what it was supposed to do. So that's exactly right. Take these things, take them every day, be consistent, and then honestly look back and be like, how much pain am I in now? Right? This is what it looks like. Joint health and mobility. It's very easy. This is a whole month supply. They come in these great little pouches. Takes nothing. If you pack a lunch, throw it in there, right? Why not? In, out, done. You're welcome. healthycell.com/Wendy. And how many different formulations are there that you're going to love? You're going to be like, wait a minute. This is as easy as it is to get all of the things I need. I can control my blood pressure. Yes. I can control my blood sugar. Yes. I can make my hair shiny, my nails stronger, and my skin glow. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Anywho, what's going on? Do we have Toolsy in here yet? Probably not. He's probably sleeping.
No, but he called me a name earlier.
I know. He called us both that name, so...
Yeah.
It's not a mean name. It's a joking name. Why? What's wrong with it? Remember, I live with all men, so... I'm kind of used to the penile humor.
I told him that it's going to affect Employee of the Month.
Oh, are you planning on winning that?
I win it every month.
No, you haven't. Look at this. This is from
Oh,
2022.
really?
Look at that. 2022. That's how long it's been. Is that ridiculous? Oh, geez.
What's that say? First place employee of the month.
For you. It wasn't me. It was a gag.
That's not a gag.
That's a gag. Oh, you're right. It is air. Woo! Anybody else have fluctuating temperature problems?
No.
Yeah, but your butt hurts.
Well, you're the pain in it, so hey, I'll take it now.
The pain that you're in? Yeah.
It's minimal.
Yeah. I'm super excited about this red light company. Some of their stuff, though, is like $8,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a red light therapy mat or whatever, but they have masks.
They had like a wall.
They have caps that are supposed to help you if you're losing your hair. They've got knee braces. They've got something for your face.
They have like this sleeping blanket that you can get in.
Right.
That seems like it'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so would anybody out there be willing to spend thousands of dollars on red light therapy products? Because they'll give us a discount and they're supposedly fantastic, but I'm like, I don't know how much our people want to spend that, you know? I don't know. I don't know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, inspiring solutions to save America, one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
You told us when it would be time to panic. Well, is it time to panic? Well, let me just tell you, folks, it's never going to be time to panic because we're never going to give up. We're not going to give up on America. America's worth it. America is worth fighting for. America's worth not giving up. And while we have that attitude of not giving up, we are constantly going to be searching, strategizing, coming up with ways to prevail. We've got the basics. We have millions and millions of Americans that are fed up. Can't wait to do something about it. There will be a series of ideas that people come up with based on dealing with the fraud that we know we have to deal with. You're not alone. You're not a singular individual all by yourself out there trying to fight these people by yourself. There are 74 million plus and growing. We're not going to give up on America.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell Radio Program is live. You know, there should be some things that we all agree on. Pro-America. Yay, America. Let's go. Team USA. But as long as you have Donald Trump, and I'm going to say now, any Republican who considers themselves a Make America Great Again conservative, you've got a Democrat Party and a media propaganda mill that will never celebrate, that will never enjoy, that will never take their bread and soak up the gravy. That's why they went nutty over Kash Patel celebrating in the locker room in Italy as the men's hockey team won gold. They couldn't even smile about that. We're dealing with the most unfun bunch of boobs that we've ever seen. And it's very tiresome. It's very tiresome because it's anti-American. And there are things that we have to get behind together that have to be bigger than politics, bigger than party or identity. And it's very disturbing. I want to read you this from thehill.com. Senate Republicans defeat measure to halt Iran strikes despite growing anxieties. It's been 5 freaking days. Stop it! Why? Because we're working with Israel, the majority of the Middle East, and now Ukraine to take out one of the biggest threats to peace anywhere on planet Earth? You're against that? Yes. Really? And Democrats don't have that slap across the face where they're like, now, wait a minute. I'm down with some stuff. The transgender crap you lost me on. I mean, that's just freaking weird, right? And if you're going to go protest, just put on a pair of pants, okay, when you're riding your bicycle, please. This is a bridge too far. These people who have been neutralized because of bravery and heroism and the finest military on planet Earth would kill you and everyone you love every single day of the week. And you know the story, 4 times on Sunday. And Democrats are saying, no, we shouldn't be doing this. This is wrong. Except 2 people. It was weird. We did a little switcheroozy. Maybe while we're negotiating, President Trump dealing with who he's going to endorse for the Texas primary, maybe we can do a little switcheroozy swap. We'll give you Rand Paul. You can give us John Fetterman. Never thought I would say that. Here's your story. Senate Republicans voted largely along party lines Wednesday to defeat a bipartisan war powers resolution that would halt military action against Iran. Why in the hell would you want it to stop? You want them obliterated. You want every single shred of evidence of their existence blown to smithereens. People who killed 1,000 Americans. Did you guys ever see? Because I did, and it bothers me and keeps me up. Did you ever see the picture of the corpse of Chris Stevens, the U.S. ambassador who was killed in Benghazi? Because I have. And I also read details about what he suffered as Hillary Clinton and others were playing games. He was burned alive. He was raped. They used a cattle prod on him. And I don't know when in that torturous nightmare he died, but it wasn't quick. So I have no patience for any jackass Democrat or any Republican Rand Paul who wants to wave a flag and say, we need to do some war powers resolution. This is just a bridge too far. Ladies and gentlemen, the last time Congress declared war was 1942. And that was World War II. And I'd like to remind you that of the 16 million World War II veterans, 16 million people, there are now 45,000 still alive, and they're all over the age of 100. How do you think they would feel knowing that Congress wants to wishy-washy? Yeah, let's not do this. Are you out of your mind? Yeah. Senator Ted Cruz says Democrats, briefed on Operation Epic Fury, had one goal: not to see America win, but to find any way, any reason, any offshoot, any strategy, detour, off-ramp for America to lose. And it's so flippin' clear. Here's the senator from Texas.
Well, unfortunately, facts don't matter for today's Democrats. The national security doesn't matter for today's Democrats. I was in that same briefing. It was a 2-hour classified briefing this afternoon, and we had the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, the head of the CIA, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, all laying out the really incredible successes the American military has had and the Israeli military has had in these first 4 days. And I will tell you, more than half the briefing was questions from various senators, and it alternates Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican. Every single Democrat, their questions were just attacking the operation. And really, you know, it is amazing to see Democrats line up to effectively defend the Ayatollah. You look at that exchange you just had with Hakeem Jeffries. His answer, what's the difference? Well, that was Barack Obama. So they supported whatever Barack Obama did. This is Donald Trump, and they oppose whatever Donald Trump does.
Even if it's terrible for America, even if it puts us all in danger, even if it means missiles rain down on your community like almighty hellfire, as long as it's about Donald Trump and he can be nailed for it and he can look bad for it and we can celebrate, we got Trump, they'll do it. It's nutty. That's pathological. That's why I say TDS is seriously, it's a mental disorder. Ted Cruz goes on, and after this, we've got some breaking news for you, by the way. Ted Cruz says, you know what? This isn't how the Senate used to be. We used to unite over matters of national security, but now Democrats want America threatened and cowering because it's going to stick it to President Trump.
There used to be a time when politics ended at the water's edge, that the two parties would be partisan on political conflicts at home, but when it came to standing up to America's enemies, we stood together. I will say it is distressing watching Democrats just use everything as an excuse to attack President Trump. The president's decision to launch this military action was the single most consequential decision of his presidency. And the fact that the Ayatollah is dead, that his senior leaders have been eliminated, that the missiles they're developing are being eliminated, that is making America much, much safer. The reason the president gave the order to begin the bombing is because Iran presented a serious threat to the United States. Iran, over 47 years, has been the number one state funder of terrorism in the world. Over 90% of Hamas's budget comes from Iran. Over 90% of Hezbollah's and the Houthis' budget comes from Iran. The Ayatollah was responsible for murdering nearly 1,000 Americans and also for hiring hitmen to try to murder President Trump. And so President Trump acted decisively to take out this threat to America. And it's sad that the Democrats just want to play politics with.
Wendy Bell, breaking news.
All right, this just in. This is a tweet by Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, who's running against John Cornyn. This is what he says. The Save America Act is the most important bill the U.S. Senate could ever pass. And I'm committed to helping President Trump get it done. I would consider dropping out of this race if Senate leadership agrees to lift the filibuster and passes the Save America Act. John Cornyn is a coward who has refused to support abolishing the filibuster to pass the bill. Now, fake news reporters and the establishment are trying to destroy me with misinformation. The truth is clear. No one has been more loyal to Donald Trump than me, fighting the stolen 2020 election, being in Mar-a-Lago when he announced his 2024 campaign, and standing with him in New York in the face of lawfare. For the good of our country and for the good of passing President Trump's agenda, I am determined to help him get this done. So, what do you think? Seems like our friend Ken Paxton knows a thing or two about leverage. Yes? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, can we please talk about our veterans? I want to. I want to talk about the last time this war powers resolution was a thing, okay? Because it's a weak argument, and it does not hold up to the test of history. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Isn't that interesting? So that still doesn't give Ken Paxton a payout. So Pam Bondi's just been called before House Oversight. She's getting subpoenaed to testify about Epstein. There are other less firebrandy, conservative candidates for the high court. And I don't know if that's got the rapid fire fight that somebody like a Ted Cruz or a Ken Paxton would want. But I could see him being a freaking excellent attorney general. Can you imagine they pass the SAVE Act, filibuster the shit out of everything, right? Replace Bondi, put an attorney general that actually goes out and hands out subpoenas and gets things done, and you've got 2.5 years to drain the swamp. Anywho, I'm going to tell you about Texas Bullion Exchange, wendylovesgold.com. I keep telling myself I'm going to bring in something to show you. And while one could see that a gold coin, a gold buffalo that I have several of, is far more valuable than a set of 5 limited mintage silver coins. Don't doubt silver. Silver is the new gold in my mind. The silver is very interesting. And our friends at wendylovesgold.com, which is Texas Bullion Exchange, 855-927-5557. They're like, look, I know a lot of you, you're a little bit older. You have money. You have it sitting in a bank. It's not doing anything for you. Why not get something for it? And the way the prices have been, the way the value has gone, it could be very interesting for you. I trust these people. It's men and women. My guys have always been men. They're responsive. They're educational. They teach you about the history of gold. They teach you about the gold standard. They talk to you about the value of the dollar, historically, what that means and how things changed. And then they'll say to you, if you're interested, I can put together a portfolio of items that I think that you might find interesting. That's what they did for me. And they emailed it to me. This is all the things that you could get for the $4 that you want to spend, right? And I was able to be like, are you kidding me? And they put together coins that were minted the years my sons were born and in places that were relevant to Joe and me. That's cool. That's part of it. That's called service. That's called wanting to be a part of your family. And that's what Texas Bullion wants. 855-927-5557. They want you and your kids and your sisters and brothers to call them and have them be your source to protect your future. WendyLovesGold.com. What?
I just sent you a text.
Ooh. Yeah, you know what? That's I need to is all over social media where things tend to break much more quickly than on the news, which we don't trust anyway. So then there's that. I've got Brock monitoring what's going on with Ken Paxton, what could happen. But you know, it's interesting. Never Trump or Thomas Massey wanted to be able to decide when and against whom, Rand Paul. When Congress or when this president was able to decide against whom and when to go to war or to have some kind of a military offensive, it's sort of a weird thing that everybody else before this president, it was some way before, but now we're going to change the rules because it's Trump, because he's unhinged. Who wants him with the nuclear codes? Are you kidding me? This is the guy who's going to go down historically in a generation. He will be the finest president of the 21st century, period. There's going to be no doubt. In my mind, that's going to be the case. You know, Congress hasn't formally declared war since June of 1942 during World War II. That ship sailed generations ago. But of course, our troops deserve a clearly defined mission. Every American agrees with that. That's not up for debate. But the planning and the execution of that mission belongs to our military leadership and to the commander-in-chief, not members of Congress giving speeches after the fact. Your job in Congress is oversight and funding. Their job is to fight and win, period. Why do you think that you deserve a say, Congress? The U.S. has not issued a formal congressional declaration of war, right? Since 1942, but has engaged in dozens of major military conflicts and hundreds of smaller operations since then, typically without any declaration, often using authorizations for use of military force, UN resolutions, or presidential authority under the War Powers Resolution. Each exact counts vary by definition. But since World War II, it's been somewhere between 125 and 198 post-1942 conflicts initiated by us without prior express congressional authorization for war. And this is including Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf Wars, Iraq, Afghanistan, and recent actions involving Iran, Syria, and Yemen. Okay, so this is where we are. We've got about 45,000 American World War II veterans still alive out of an estimated 16.4 million who served. 0.5% of that greatest generation who served is still alive. 0.5. I can't imagine the wounds that they buried deep inside of themselves. 80 years ago? 60 years ago, 80 years ago? That we have congressmen and women who believe that they should be able to, for the sake of social media, get their clicks, win their primaries, get some ad dollars or what have you, blah, 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 talk about what this president should do when we know damn well what the Iranian regime has done to this world. We know that they create and fund Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah. These are the terrorists, the booga, 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 that you wonder about. Who invaded our border exactly in the 4 years Joe Biden was weekend at Bernie's? Who are those people? Where are they? And when we saw them all crossing, and we're like, it's funny, that's a lot of young military-age single dudes, none of whom look like us. Why ever would they want to come here? Well, it was an open invitation from the deep state. Come on in. Stake your spot. That's scary. Okay, so now Brock has just sent me something, and I want to make sure we're on it. Brock, what was this? This is about Kristi Noem. Apparently, Kristi Noem, have you guys followed this? This is a headline from ProPublica. Now, this is a left group, so it is what it is. Kristi Noem-tied firm secretly got piece of $220 million taxpayer-funded ad campaign as a critical tool to stem illegal immigration. All right? So the guise of this $200 million campaign apparently was to stop the flow and to, I don't know, soften the idea that we're rounding people up who shouldn't be here and get them the hell out of here. $200 billion. Apparently Kristi Noem is on a horse or something. And what did she say? She said what about Trump? She said
basically Trump signed off on it.
Yes.
And then Trump's like, no, I didn't.
Uh-oh.
So apparently, according to I think it was the Wall Street Journal, she's on the hot seat.
So, Kristi, now here's my thing. That would be a really dumb thing for the Secretary of Homeland Security to sign off on and get behind. Knowing what we know about the finances of this country, that totally doesn't sound like something we should do. And if, in fact, her deputy, Tricia McLaughlin, if Tricia McLaughlin's husband was the dude in the ad agency behind this ad, I'm against all of that stuff. That doesn't.
And she just left.
She just left? Yes, Tricia McLaughlin just left. So weird, isn't it? Come on, man. Don't we deserve better? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, you got to hear this. John Fetterman absolutely bowls over some news babe on CNN who's like, oh yeah, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. And he just drops the bomb. She doesn't know what to do. It's brilliant. Next. We'll see what happens with this.
Emerald Robinson, who was a White House correspondent, is also reporting that Susie Wiles is telling White House staff that she will step down from her role as chief of staff after the midterms. Now, if you're a hear me out, if you're a
tinfoil hatter,
yes,
if you're a rabbit holer, let's indulge. Brock, go.
Pam Bondi was a huge that Susie Wiles was behind the Pam Bondi hire. So if Susie Wiles is gone,
if Pam Bondi's getting called in before House Oversight to talk about Epstein,
Ken Paxton would be a hell of an AG. I don't know. I'm seeing dots.
I'm feeling it too, my man.
All over the place.
Okay, so what's the play with Paxton? Do you think that he then bounces, or Schmidt? And what do? You leave the Supreme Court? What do you think? Do you think that's going to be his give? They're going to give him. We're gonna have you.
I think
he needs to be confirmed, right?
I think Paxton going from AG to AG is a easier
logical
step than a AG to Supreme
Senator.
Court.
Yeah, to Supreme Court. Yeah.
You know.
And then what do you do with John Cornyn?
Live with him for another 6 years.
I so don't like that. And I know I'm all that and the cherry on top. Like I want it all. And I want it now. That should be my theme song.
This coming out, the Susie Wiles is wild. Like, because like I said, what are we all upset about? Pam Bondi?
You've been super sus of her.
I have been.
Super sus. So
I'm super sus of anyone that's
I can also see Trump putting people in certain positions so that they expose themselves.
I don't know about her. I just don't like that she's been tied to a lot of what are the people that
which one are you talking about now?
Susie Wiles. That go to Congress and try to get money. Drawing a brain fart.
Lobbyists.
Yes. And apparently Pam Bondi was an attorney for Pfizer. And she's been the push behind, the Susie Wiles was the push behind Pam Bondi. And Trump apparently trusts Susie Wiles.
He also trusted Mike Pence.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he trusted Mike Pence or if that was the deep state pushing.
This is the deep state. This is what you have to have if you're going to do this.
But that
so
would be
gross.
huge.
Yes. Yes.
That would be huge. And I could definitely see Ken Paxton going from AG to AG.
That makes good sense, Brock. I think we'll have to talk about it so you guys get the front row seat. So we're going to all do the same thing again. Sorry. But I'm going to tell you, thehealthyfat.com, Dr. Gundry's MCT Wellness. This is his strategy. This was his secret recipe to lose 70 pounds. And it doesn't happen overnight. It is a slow process because MCT Wellness is a dietary supplement. And its objective is to basically have your brain understand and fire to your stomach, you're not hungry. Stop eating. And when you drink it, and I do every day, and I finish it before the end of the show, it holds you over for hours. You can skip a meal, right? You can skip a meal and instead have a snack or something like that. And those calories then are not part of your daily equation. Dr. Gundry said this really worked for him. And he said more than 1,000, he said. He knows personally in 20 years, more than 1,000 people who have lost significant weight by drinking this. Some people drink 1 scoop a day. Look, you're already drinking water. Just go buy it. It's like $30, whatever it is. It's so affordable. I don't know why I've got 2 scoopers, but Brock did that. So.
I couldn't find the one.
So put a scoop of this in your water, shake it up and drink it. It's not gritty. It's not like, it tastes sweet. It's got a little tang to it and your mouth kind of waters for it. You're like, I like it. And then all of a sudden the effects, what does it do? You're not hungry. Bing, 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 thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. This is going to be part of our shtick. This is going to be what we're doing. This is part of my regimen and I do it every single day. So I'm going to share it starting on Monday. And if you want to join me, that would be terrific. Terrific. Look, this is spring. We still have 3 months before true bathing suit season. I'd like to lose a little muffin top. Anybody? Right? Let's do it. Join me. Let's lose 10 pounds. I've already dropped 2.5.
And this isn't necessarily going down rabbit holes.
Someone
said, stop going down the rabbit holes. What rabbit holes? If the chief of staff leaves, and I've been no fan of Pam Bondi from the start, and she was behind Pam Bondi. This is what happens in real life. When the boss that hires you gets fired and the new guy comes in, you're wide seats on the hot seat, you know?
Wow.
Oh, it is bathing suit season.
It's really not.
Almost.
I'm getting ready.
Okay, well, just, wow.
Wow. Okay. Brock, I want you to send me what you've got on Susie Wiles because it's not crossed any of the wires here. I'm not seeing any of the stories. We're sitting here and we're kind of monitoring what's going on because this really is such a delicious. I don't know. It's sort of like we're playing Twister, right? And somebody's flicking that little red thing and it's spinning around and it's like, all right, blue 3 or whatever the hell it is, and you're supposed to do that, right? So you've got Ken Paxton, who we believe is going to get squeezed out. The president probably is going to go with John Cornyn and put his endorsement in John Cornyn's basket, expecting Ken Paxton to drop. Ken Paxton is not a dropper. He's not a quitter. He doesn't come this far and fight this hard and have so much freaking thrown at him. He's a survivor. He's like Trump. He's been a staunch Trump ally, supporter. That means something. So then Ken Paxton comes out and he's like, look, I'm not gonna throw in the towel. And then that percolates overnight. We hit the air this afternoon. And then Ken Paxton sends out a tweet and he's like, look, I will step aside. I will suspend this. And I will let John Cornyn, the rhino rat fink jerk that he is, take that spot and go up against James Tallarico in the midterms in November. If the Senate grows some huevos, Republicans pass the SAVE Act and kill the filibuster. You do that, I'm out of your way. You can have your little rhino boyfriend all you want. Then another wrinkle on this, we have Pam Bondi, and she's going to be coming up here, in the next, probably in the next hour. We got a little blurb about Pam Bondi because House Oversight is like, you know what? We learned a lot during all of these hearings about Epstein. We'd kind of like to have you come in. They're going to subpoena the Attorney General of the United States, who, by the way, we can all argue has been on Fox News far more than she's done anything to litigate, to go after anybody of any kind of criminal wrongdoer out there. They're all able to walk free. All of the people who've perjured themselves, Alejandro Mayorkas, freaking Hunter Biden, the Clintons, Tony Fauci, Christopher Wray. How many people need to lie under oath without penalty for you to be like, okay, this is a game and you and I aren't playing in it? Because they get different rules. So what if Bondi gets the squeeze, right? A logical thing to do is to move Ken Paxton to say, hey, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. You scored me a win with the leverage you used to squeeze it to the Senate. All right, let's make you the new Attorney General. Whatever happens to Pam Bondi happens to Pam Bondi. I don't feel any great allegiance to her. I don't know. I don't get a vibe on her one way or another. But now, what Susie Wiles, Brock, hop in here.
Yeah, Emerald Robinson is saying there are rumors that she's telling White House staff.
Susie Wiles is.
Yes, that she's going to resign or step down, whatever you want to call it, after the midterms.
Now, Susie Wiles, what was her connection with Pam Bondi?
She was the one behind Pam Bondi becoming AG. Like that was her push.
Super.
And they had worked together with Big Pharma and lawyering Big Pharma and lobbying. And
very interesting. You see it all coming together. And so I think there's going to be, if we look at the Supreme Court, which will also have a vacancy here soon, I think the president is going to choose somebody who is far less of a firebrand, who the deep knives of the deep state haven't come after. I mean, they tried to basically destroy Ken Paxton's life, right? Whatever he did or did not do. They want you to believe he's a bad guy. He's not. To my feelings, this is all getting very interesting. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about this because this was interesting. The fuse Caroline Leavitt has is still longer than mine would be. I'd be much more caustic, and so hats off to the young lady who was our White House press secretary. I think she does a glorious job. But Caitlin Collins is a resting man face news snit. She's a news babe who thinks she's all that, and she's not. She's like your typical Democrat who believes they know better. And though they don't, they want you to believe that they do. And that gets into this little conversation here in the White House press briefing room. Am I on the wrong thing?
Yeah.
I am. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about
Fetterman.
I beg your pardon. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I beg your pardon, people. I'm all over the place. So, this is the moment. Yeah. So this is where Kate Bolduan, or whatever her name is, she asks John Fetterman. She's also a news babe at CNN. And she's asking John Fetterman, basically, thinking that she's going to get a Democrat answer from this guy, saying like, look, you shouldn't be celebrating the complete annihilation of the Iranian regime, right? I mean, like, you shouldn't be for this, should you, Senator? And he totally destroys her with his answer. Listen.
So the Israeli defense minister, I asked that because the Israeli defense minister posted today that every leader appointed by the Iranian terror regime to continue and lead the plan to destroy Israel, to threaten the United States and the free world and the countries of the region, and to suppress the Iranian people. He writes, every leader appointed by the Iranian regime will be an unequivocal target for elimination. That's going forward. So that is a U.S. goal going forward?
Well, just keep killing them until they're gone. I mean, absolutely. I saw that. I've read that they're going to target who they ever elect to be their next leader and kill them. Absolutely, I fully support it. So that's what's entirely appropriate. Now they have to decide: are we going to continue choose now peace or now we're going to try to destroy Israel? They really don't have those capabilities. At this point, it's just empty rhetoric because we all know that Iran is able to really project the kinds of damage.
How is it possible that I understand what he was saying? He's like, yes, complete obliteration, destroy all of them. Yes, because if you don't, the tendrils of that take root and they grow back. I don't know about you, but I don't want my 3 kids, he says, to get obliterated by some vengeful Ayatollah's son, right? And she's completely beside herself. Her eyebrows go up and she's like, wait, what? You're calling for, yes, you think this is great, that we should be killing all of these people? Yeah, he says, all of them. Yes. And it continues. Well, this is where John Fetterman, let's see. He says this to the stunned news babe who purses her lips because she believes she knows better. She tries to abruptly end the interview like, I can't hear what you're saying. This isn't acceptable. But Fetterman continues. It's great.
So then who decides what leader should lead Iran then? If you think that the United States should take part in taking out every leader going forward if it doesn't meet the right measure?
Well, I mean, hey, I'm sorry. I absolutely, I support killing, the leadership of the Iranian. Absolutely. I absolutely support that. I think that's entirely appropriate until hopefully they'll pick someone that realizes that they need to live and coexist in peace in the region and stop trying to destroy Israel and destabilize the region.
Senator John Fetterman, thank you for your time.
And if anyone, that's another thing Democrats say. No one will mourn the death of the Ayatollah. Well, yeah. So that's just another way of saying it's a good thing that he's been killed, right? I'll call it what it is. I won't say, well, I won't weep for him. Just call it what it is. It's like it's a good thing that he's been erased now. And then if they pick another one, that wants to do
Democrats,
the same thing, erase it too.
I hear your point, but I've had every Democrat who's been on this show that I've heard is having 2 thoughts in their head at once, which is it is good to have the Ayatollah gone, but they do not agree and do not understand the justification of going in now with this war at this moment. That is the distinction I've heard from other Democrats on the show, but we are now out of time.
Oh, I'll give you the distinction. Shut up. Why now? Because they'll keep killing us. Kate? I mean, I don't care what Democrats. Well, we want to sit back and armchair quarterback. Well, we want to do it our way. We actually like terror, right? And John Fetterman's like, can we just say what it is? It's good that we kill all of those people. He says, I support killing the Iranian leadership. Literally, that's what he said. I support that. As she tried to get out of it, she's like, well, where to go with you, John? John? And he's like, no, I'm not done. Can we not also stand up for a boy with brain cancer? Can we not stand up for the families of people who've been raped and murdered by illegal aliens? Can we not applaud 100-year-old World War II veterans? Can we not celebrate the U.S. men's hockey team? Right? That's John Fetterman. I'm beginning to think that there are 99 other senators who need to have a stroke. Will Cain says this, I wasn't expecting this when I woke up this morning. Dude, how about it?
Live from Texas, this is the Will Cain Show. You've been watching President Trump hosting an event with big tech leaders at the White House about powering data centers and ensuring that ratepayers will not pay a higher rate due to the growing influence of AI. But now we turn to a Fox News alert. This just in, it's big. A U.S. official telling Fox thousands of Iraqi Kurds have launched a ground offensive in Iran. Decimated, destroyed, defeated. All words the Pentagon used to describe Iran's various military forces on day 5 of Operation Epic Fury. Moments ago, President Trump touting its success.
So we're in a very strong position now, and their leadership is just rapidly going. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader, they end up dead. And it's an amazing thing that's taking place. Their missiles are being wiped out rapidly. Their launchers are being wiped out. They're attacking their neighbors. They're attacking their, in some cases, allies, or not so long ago allies. And, you know, it's really a nation that was out of control, and they would have used it on us if we let them.
You know, the Iranian regime is kind of like those drug boats that go in the middle of the ocean. Why? We believe you are a threat to America. You are a clear and present danger to the homeland. You are foreign terrorists who want to kill and instill your own lunacy as normalcy in the world. And no, we will not stand for it. We will hunt you down and kill you unabashedly, unapologetically. Any questions? Right? And John Fetterman comes back. He's on with Chris Cuomo. He's like, look, Democrats want to oppose everything this president does. I make no apologies for celebrating the end of the evil Ayatollah and his reign of terror.
What it all comes down to one simple fact, Chris, is that, you know, if Trump does something or supports something, then now it's absolutely toxic for a Democrat to just simply say, yeah, I happen to agree. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to eliminate Iran's risk to acquire a nuclear bomb. And I think it's a great thing that one of the most evil man that's lived in the last 50 years, he's been eliminated now too. And I think we have a chance for more peace.
Uh-huh. And you know what? There's one thing on John Fetterman talking about Gavin Newsom. I'm going to scrap it, Brock. I don't care about Gavin Newsom. I don't care what he says. He called Israel an apartheid state. And Chris Cuomo asks John Fetterman about that. You can imagine what his answer would be, right? That's ludicrous. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. There is a lucidity, right, that is ever present in the guy who went into Walter Reed with depression, who suffered a stroke, who has a defibrillator and a serious heart condition. Something tells me that dude's firing on all cylinders. I sure wish the rest of the Senate would. When we come back, what's Congress willing to overlook so that their side can win? Isn't that the question? Next. I had two ideas mushed together and I was going the wrong way. Brock saved me. Thank you.
I was ready.
I know, you always are. Okay, GLP gold. Okay, GLP-1 gold. I got it. Brock has it. This is what it looks like. All right, so this is Juvenon. These are the people I love. And again, you can get this by going to Wendy or bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Wendy30 gives you 30% off. I'm going to read you what's in it. All right. one capsule daily before or with a meal. It has some stuff I can't pronounce, but it is not pharmaceutical. I'm going to tell you what it says it does. The GLP-1 is what we hear about with these Wegovy and Ozempic and Mounjaro and all of these weight loss shots. It's a hormone that controls basically the firing, the signaling of your brain to your gut saying, don't eat anymore. You don't need to eat anymore. Like the people who are morbidly, like ridiculously and dangerously obese, it's not just because they're hungry. There's something going on in there and it's not answering. Phone's ringing, but nobody's picking it up. And that's what this hormone GLP-1 does. It's like, we're going to talk to you and we're going to get you to slow down and stop eating so much. The thing that's great about this is it happens naturally without some drug being pumped into your body that could have an after effect down the road that you don't know about. And this is the hot dietary supplement from Juvenon. And they've had tremendous success with this. People who have some significant weight to lose, significant success with this. This is part of your game plan. See, the shot for a lot of people is all that it is. They're not doing anything else to change their behaviors. So the minute you stop taking it, your behaviors return, right? This is a whole different ball game. This is just a reminder. It's a general reminder to your mind as you're doing what you need to do. You're walking, you're lifting some weights, maybe fixing your core strength, eating right foods, drinking plenty of water, adding the right powders to it. This is an addition to it, and it helps you. And people lose a lot of weight taking this. GLP-1 Gold, bloodflow7.com. So I've decided I'm going to start taking this. I mean, this is...
By the way, I'm almost out.
The triple X of what?
Alpha Gold.
Okay.
What?
Okay. What do you want me to do about that?
You're my pusher.
This is this next one, the triple XL. I'm ready, baby.
I'm ready for it.
I'm doing pull-ups, right? Assisted, of course, because I have chicken arms. But I'm doing them. So there you go. It's better than not.
Wow.
But what? Are you just wowing to be a winner?
No.
Oh. Stop that.
No, it's coming.
Okay.
I want you to read it real quick in 30 seconds, so hurry up. Should I hit it again?
Yes, yes.
I'm going to play some bumpers to bring the stations back.
Fudgicles. Holy smokes. Wow. I knew that $220 million ad thing was sus. And McLaughlin probably, that's unfortunate. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. My, has it been a hot Thursday in America? You ready?
Wendy Bell, breaking news.
Here is a truth put out moments ago, 1:41, so literally 10 minutes ago. This is what the President of the United States wants you to know. I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st, 2026. The current Secretary, Kristi Noem, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere we're announcing on Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank Kristi for her service at Homeland. So Holy schmoly, serving 10 years in the United States House of Representatives and 3 in the Senate. Mark Wayne who's going to take that spot? Mark Wayne has done a tremendous job representing the wonderful people of Oklahoma, where I won all 77 out of 77 counties in 2016, 2020, and 2024. A MAGA warrior and former undefeated professional MMA fighter, Mark Wayne truly gets along well with people and knows the wisdom and courage required to advance our America First agenda. As the only Native American in the Senate, Mark Wayne is, I didn't know that. Did you know that? Totally did not know he was MMA either. I'm so against it. Mark Wayne worked tirelessly. Oh, hold on. As the only Native American in the Senate, Mark Wayne is a fantastic advocate for our incredible tribal communities. Mark Wayne will work tirelessly to keep our borders secure, stop migrant crime, murderers, and other criminals from illegally entering our country, end the scourge of illegal drugs, and make America safe again. Mark Wayne will make a spectacular Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Wait, I thought Pocahontas was.
Well, we've proven that she was 1064th, right? Native American. That's so embarrassing. So it's been a year already, and this is the first cabinet shakeup. It is not going to be the last. We have Susie Wiles, who says she's out after November, which is so odd. We have Pam Bondi now, who's going to be on the hot seat. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. This is very interesting now. No wonder we felt the vacuum. Did you guys feel it too? Because that's definitely how I would describe it this morning, last night. It's like all of the air was sucked out of the room. So I want to talk about this. We're going to pivot as Brock continues to monitor the breaking news out there that is all over the place. I got to ask you, what is Congress willing to overlook so that their side can win? And why would a Capitol Hill staffer set herself on fire in her backyard, kill herself? A wife, a mother. Why? This is the curious case of California Republican Tony Gonzalez and his former aide who killed herself in the most god-awful way imaginable. This is a headline from USA Today, so take it for what it's worth. Republican accused of affair with staffer faces ethics probe. Reported text messages between Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez and a former staffer who died by lighting herself on fire last year have upended his re-election campaign. Look, we've covered this. We've talked about it peripherally, nothing serious. Do you want to know if members of Congress have felt up, have even raped, had affairs with, paid off, tried to bribe, tried to blackmail female staffers? Because I do. I'd want to know. I'd want to know if it was a Republican, as much as, if not more, than I'd want to know if it was a Democrat. Do you believe that there should be some secrecy there where U.S. members of Congress, that was obviously, but should be kept secret? That their names shouldn't be allowed to get out? You shouldn't know about what they've done, what they've been accused of? Should you be paying for their legal defense fund? Should you be paying the hush money to keep people silent? And should a young woman in her 30s, who he apparently had an affair with, this Gonzalez guy, be dead today? Well, it kind of came to a vote yesterday. It was a big vote. It was an important vote. It was a resolution, House Resolution 1100, if I'm not mistaken. And this resolution was like, we should bounce this matter to the House Ethics Committee where nothing happens and people are allowed to slither around like the serpents they are in what we call the swamp. Well, there was a vote on that yesterday. It was important too, and we should know how it all happened. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. So we're going to talk about Pam out of the gates here.
So
she's finally up.
Here's another thing coming up.
Ooh.
That Tillis is
outgoing North Carolina senator
that hates Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 second. Is calling on Trump to endorse Cornyn. Could this be one of the plays too that says, okay, I'll play your game, you play mine. I want the SAVE Act.
Say that again one more time.
So Tillis is one of the, I think, 4 that's against the SAVE Act.
Correct.
And he's doing it just to stick it to Trump.
They don't want to use up their leverage too soon.
Yes.
So you think that Tillis is going to go to the president and say, make sure my boy Rhino Cornyn is yours that you endorse, and I'll flex on the SAVE Act and we'll pass that.
Yes.
All right. So then what do you do with Lisa Murkowski?
You won't need her.
Well, if you do the filibuster, you don't, right?
Well, that's ultimately what it is.
That's they'd be voting against. They'd be voting to, yes. It's all very interesting. So now who takes over for Mark Wayne Mullen?
That's Oklahoma. I don't know who. They'll find somebody. Because the senator or the governor gets to pick. I believe that's how
how it works. Yeah, I don't even know who the governor is. Sorry.
All I know is I think we need to invest in a breaking news desk. So it can be official. The breaking news desk.
You do a great job.
And then we can get it sponsored. The breaking news desk sponsored by. It's all about the.
Huh. It's all about the cheat. All about the cheat.
Tell me you couldn't see that was Tillis, though.
I could, and tell me that you didn't see a lot of Mark Wayne Mullen in the last month or so.
Yes.
Out on social media. He was all over the frickin' place. Huh. And you and I think that what we want to these people matters. It's all the wheeling and dealing bullshit behind the scenes. It's so disingenuous. It's like a lawsuit I was involved in, and then I see my lawyer and the opposition's lawyer who was lying about me, who was saying awful things about me, right? And knew better. They go out and grab dinner together. I'm like, I'm sorry. I could never. That's why people are like, would you ever run for office? I'm like, are you insane? Can you think of anything more spirit crushing than being in public service like that? Oh my God. Anywho, let's talk about it. Simkovich Concussion Institute, 412-366-3700. So my friend who has been going for her tremors and has been treated successfully by Dr. Simkovich and his intensive treatment program. It's all about this. I'm telling you, what he does is magic, but it's actually medical. It has to do with your sphenoid process. It's a part of your neck up and soft palate places, and he pushes on you and does. She's had fantastic results. Her shakes, she says, have gone down 75%. Right? Some days better than others, but a dramatic improvement. So she tells me that every time she's in his office, because she goes once a month, I think, or whatever it is, for a tune-up, she calls it, until 4 tune-ups, and then you're pretty much, you get your graduation. And every time she's there, the waiting room is packed with the Amish. The Amish will drive from Lancaster, from Ohio, to come and see Dr. Simkovich, which is so interesting. So interesting. And she says every time she's there, his waiting room is packed. People need help when the unexpected happens. Nobody expects to get a concussion. Nobody wants one. Nobody's looking for a brain injury, and nobody knows where to go once one happens. But you know something's wrong, whether it's you or somebody you love. And there is no time to twist your, to go like this and wonder how to fix it. You need help now. And that's Dr. Simkovich, 412-366-3700, SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. This intense concussion treatment protocol, it's meant to fix you expeditiously, thoroughly, so that you're there for a finite amount of time, but it's saturated, right? It's not like for 15 minutes. It's like, we're going to do 4 hours together. And then tomorrow we're going to do 3, and then we're going to do 2.5, and then you're done. And then you're healed. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. He heals people. How blessed am I to be able to talk about a healer? Okay, so wait, Spar just sent me something I saw across. Let's see. Yes. Thank you for that, Spar. We got it. That's great. What else is going on? It feels like there's a percolation. Like it. So it's almost like Kristi Noem sat on the hot seat, got skewered on Tuesday, right? Absolutely skewered, and then Trump just moves her.
When you... I like the fact that he steps up and says,
This is too much of a distraction. This is too much of a distraction. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nip it in the bud. Don't let it. This is. Man, do I want to see Pam Bondi go? Give me a guy like Paxton. I would. I'm sure his hands would be tied a little too, but he's not one for.
He doesn't strike me as someone who mucks around.
Yeah. He's done more than her.
She.
Court cases and she. Wow.
Frequent flyers know what that's all about. All right, let's see if I can stay focused on this. We've got news breaking all over the place. Meanwhile, Brock and I this morning were like, there's nothing going on.
It's usually the way it is.
It's nothing going on. And then it's like,
but we have the best breaking news sounder. Oh.
Oh, look at Harry Enton.
I already saved it to send to you.
Well, I don't care about it now. I'm not going to use it tomorrow.
Okay. New open alert.
Really? Kelly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Israel.
That's idiotic.
Iranian students continue to hold more than 50 hostages at the American Embassy in Tehran this morning.
The American Embassy in Tehran is in the hands of Muslim students tonight and took dozens of American hostages.
In the terrorist bomb attack on the U.S. Marine compound at Beirut Airport, Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger this morning said that there is a lot of circumstantial evidence, and some of it points to Iran.
That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold out hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'll do it with other countries.
Obviously, you're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, and there's no question in my mind.
If you think this war isn't America's, you're wrong.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live on a glorious Thursday. Wonderful to be with you. You know, the president realizes he's got to hit the gas on some of these victories. That the MAGA base, 98% of us approve of what he's doing with Iran. But 100% of us want to see somebody in handcuffs. 100% of us want to see someone indicted, someone in the deep state. We want to see consequences. We want to see action. The January 6th committee did more to ruin 1,500 people's lives than Pam Bondi or this Department of Justice has done to prove to anybody during the second Trump administration that they're serious about cleaning it up. Look, I'm not here to tell you I have a clue in the world what's involved with the job. It's got to be insurmountable. But if you take it, get it done. Well, now this is interesting. JustTheNews.com House Oversight votes to subpoena Pam Bondi in the Jeffrey Epstein probe. 5 Republicans voted with all the Democrats on the panel to subpoena the Attorney General. And the effort to subpoena Bondi was led by South Carolina GOP Congresswoman Nancy Mace. You ready? I wonder what you guys think about this. Tell me your comments here in the live video stream. I love when you're there. WendyBellRadio.com. Join us. The House Oversight Committee voted Wednesday afternoon to subpoena Attorney General Pam Bondi as part of its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, which will force her to testify about her handling of the Justice Department's probe. 5 Republicans voting with all the Democrats on the panel to subpoena the Attorney General. And the effort to subpoena Bondi was led by South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. We're going to be talking about real substantive issues, like the 65,000 documents that are being hidden by the DOJ right now, Mace told reporters after the vote. Representatives Lauren Boebert of Colorado, Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, Tim Burchett of Tennessee, you know how I feel about him, and Michael Cloud of Texas also voted with the panel's Democrats. Bondi has faced intense public criticism over the department's handling of the Epstein issue since a 2025 stunt she orchestrated in which she distributed binders of largely public information on Jeffrey Epstein to a group of influencers. I mean, think about that. I even forgot about that. She made a lot of people look really stupid. Namely herself. Look, this isn't supposed to be a photo op. Do you guys think finding out the truth about why that staffer, the aide to Representative Gonzalez in California, the Republican, who he allegedly had an affair with, father of 6, had an affair with her, sent her all sorts of text messages? Don't you want to know what's going on with that? I do. I want to know what happens with everybody. This is why I said Congress is Epstein Island. Because they're allowed to skulk around in the darkness, in the shadows. And people get hurt. And one woman so much that she literally self-immolated. That is beyond. That is beyond. And I agree, Bondi handing out those binders without knowing what the hell was in them. What were you doing? What were you thinking? So when is that going to happen? I have no idea. And I do find it very interesting that the loudest voice is screaming, release the Epstein files, hang Pam Bondi, also just voted to bury the sexual harassment files of members of Congress. So let's talk about this House Resolution 1100. And this is what it says. It directs the Committee on Ethics to be the one to basically preserve and public release records of the committee's review of violations of alleged violations of Clause 9. That's the mumbo jumbo. Clause 9 and Clause 18 of the Rule 8 of the Rules of the House, basically saying, you know what, we know that there are some scumbags in these chambers. And we know that they've been credibly accused to the tune of $17 million since 2002, I guess from 2002 to 2017, that you and I paid for to settle allegations of sexual misconduct. And I'm sure that's putting it lightly. Instead of this coming out, why shouldn't we know who everybody is? Why should that be secret? Got a lot of people voting against making that public. And so they voted to basically bounce into some Senate committee, or rather some House committee on ethics, where everything that's ethical goes to die. It's the ultimate memory hole of all things. If you don't want accountability, push it off on the ethics committee. Anna Paulina Luna was beside herself. She's like, look, we're putting it to a vote. You guys in this chamber, you want the Epstein files, you vote for the Epstein files, but we say, hey, let's release all of the files of the predators in this chamber. You vote against it. Why? Why ever So here's Anna Paulina Luna.
All right. I support Representative Mace's subpoena here, as well as the amendment to it. And I just think it's really disgusting how this institution protects itself, because y'all just half of them voted to send this stuff to House Ethics, where you know it's going to die. We know that members of Congress are using taxpayer dollars to pay off sexual harassment. We just had a member of Congress literally sexually harass a woman that then lit herself on fire, and you guys all protected him. You guys all protected my own side, your side. And so if you guys want to talk about victims, if you want to go out and virtue signal, and then you guys are going to kill her stuff on the floor and then try to pass it. Yeah, of course, we should subpoena all of this stuff. But just, I'm not going to sit here and play games. I think it's a complete fraud. I think that's why the American people hate us. I think the midterms are coming up, and everyone should go on record for this. And I hope that members are exposed for this. I hope it goes back, I think, to the 70s, because it's wrong that it's happening. It's wrong that we cover up for it. It's wrong that we can't censor our own side because people are busy making deals because you guys don't want to censor your side. It's a deal that's been cut, and people hate us for it. So yeah, I support it.
People hate us for it. Damn right. You know, when there is a vote on the floor to censure Ilhan Omar for being the nucleus of the Feeding Our Futures nightmare during COVID, right? Where she's like, you know what, people in my district need a lot of help. And there's this plan that we have, and it's really quite innovative. It's really phenomenal. All right, let's give it a lot of money. And then, right? And then what do you have? Oh, fraud. Fraud isn't new. Fraud goes back to the beginning, Adam and Eve, right? It's a very beginning. Avarice, greed, impropriety, all of this stuff. Yes? It's like baked into the human DNA. You got a bunch of young people, Anna Paulina Luna, younger, under the age of 50, Nancy Mace, 48. Why is it the young people who are like, you know what? I'm tired of this deep state skulking around stuff. How on earth are we supposed to get anything done when we're covering up all of the dirt bags in this place? It is a factory of disgustingness. It's got to be. I mean, how many pictures that we haven't seen and don't want to see of people having gay sex in Senate conference rooms do you think there are? How much crap do you think happens? You got people who live away from their families, put in these quarters where they have power, right? They have power, decision making, walk around like they're Hollywood celebrities. No, you're a member of Congress. Knock it off. It's like news anchors. They think they're so special, right? No, shut up and tell me the news and don't lie to me. You've got young people who are like, hey, we've got this new MAGA faction, Make America Great Again. Donald Trump in 2016 was talking about drain the swamp. We all know what's going on. And yet here we are, very wide awake, eyes wide open to this deal that the president might in fact have to make. And I could very well see this cry for Pam Bondi, have her testify, sort of like what they did to Kristi Noem, have her testify, and then have Tom Tillis and others just absolutely tear her a new one. And bring up a bunch of jazz, by the way, that's very unbecoming. Well, it feels like it's going to be Pam Bondi's turn on the hot seat. Look, if you're not cut out for it, you're not cut out for it. But if you're in Congress and you're demanding that the people who raped young girls, either on the Lolita Express at the Zorro Ranch or at his Epstein Island, if you're demanding for transparency on that, right, but you're going to vote against transparency in your own house, I'm sorry. You're a walking hypocrite. And we all are paying attention. We're all captive. You've made us pay attention. You know, do you guys see the video from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, of about 75 high school kids walking out in some anti-ICE rally protest? 75 of 1,400. And as they walk through the building to go outside to protest with their signs, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They get booed. Boo! Can you imagine being a 16-year-old kid thinking that you're doing the right thing by virtue signaling, right? And having your classmates, your compatriots, boo you? America needs to boo Congress the same damn way. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my heavens, this is maybe the best minute you're going to hear all day by Brigitte Gabriel. She nails it about Trump next. I mean, who voted against this? And it's very convoluted because they're voting to basically keep all of the allegations and the payments and the accusations and the people involved with sexual harassment quiet. We're not going to release that information. We're going to put it like with the Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're going to put it in the back of that warehouse, all the way back in the corner. Nobody will know about it, right? It's called the Ethics Committee, right? Nobody's going to see it. You'll all be dead before anybody knows about it. That's what it is. And the people who are voting against doing that, let's get some of the names. Who do we know? Andy Biggs, Lauren Boebert, Tim Burchett, Kat Kamek, Eli Crane, Byron Donalds, Fitzpatrick, that wasn't in my wheelhouse, Jared Golden, Brandon Gill, Pramila Jayapal, Ro Khanna, let's see, Nancy Mace, Thomas Massey, McClintock, McGuire McGovern, who else? Ogles, Scott Perry, Rick Perry. Who is the Perry? I don't know which Perry it is anymore. It's like the Backstreet Boys. Who are you? Who else? Spartan. That's about it.
Can we go back to the Ken Paxton thing real quick? Didn't he say passed in the next 2 weeks? SAVE Act and Kristi Noem in the next is going to be replaced on March 31st, which would be about 2.5 weeks.
So you're going back to read into Trump's truth.
Yeah. There's too many coincidences.
This is the booing, by the way. Listen. Byron Donalds. Oh, shucks. Fitzpatrick, that wasn't in my wheelhouse. I can't do that Jared because Golden, I got... Shh. Shut up. Imagine being some young girl, because it was all girls, a lot of girls. This is Central Bucks East High School. Students booing fellow students who are walking out wearing masks, holding signs about ICE. 75 of them. And all these other people. Can you imagine how that would absolutely embarrass the liver out of you? That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen to Congress. You need to be booed.
And you need to rumble.
I'm not looking. I can't. It makes me sad. Look, if you pay attention, if you watch this show after hours, your rumble still counts.
Yes.
We still count that and we still get credit for that. So I'm deeply appreciative. We get 75% or so of our rumbles during the show, another 25% after. But if we could get more 50-50, that would be helpful. Disinfectwithsniper.com.
Free shipping.
You know, it was interesting. I walked into the bathroom, our master bathroom, in the middle of the night. I had just cleaned the toilet. I'd snipered the liver out of everything. And you walk in, and this is sight unseen. Obviously, the lights aren't on what?
Go quicker.
Oh, I'll tell you about it on the flip side. It smelled wonderful. It smelled wonderful.
Yeah.
With the lights out, I was like, oh, it's clean. God love you, Sniper. Disinfectwithsniper.com. I'm telling you what. It's all that. It's all that.
I use it for everything.
Everything.
Athlete's foot, bathroom, cigar room.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. All right, so I want to read to you one more time. Can you send me again the tweet from the president, or the truth from the president? I can't seem to find it anymore, like a klutz. But I want to read it again, and I want to talk about it a little bit more deeply. But before we do, it's a bond that the left has tried to break. There's this thing that I believe is a big factor of this Trump derangement. And there's this connection. The 63 million of us had it with President Trump in 2016, and they weren't banking on it. And in 2020, It was over 70 million, 74 million, right? And they lied to us and said, no, Joe Biden got 81 million, which was so stupid. Think about that. They wanted you to believe that by 7 million votes, 7 million people in the United States of America preferred Joe Biden, who didn't campaign, who nobody ever liked, who was always the useful idiot, who always said dumb crap, right? Who created his political career after the death of his wife and daughter, back on the backs of that, right? It was so ridiculous. And they expected you to believe it because they're so used to it. It's sort of like the Somalian thing. You mean to tell me that these people who fled civil war, who have low IQs, who are clans people who inbreed, masterminded the theft of billions of our dollars? Really? It's so in your face. It has to be so in your face. It's naked men wrapped in rainbow flags riding bicycles down the street for pride. I mean, like, how much more do you need to see? I want you to hear Brigitte Gabriel. She's very interesting as a national security expert. And she's like, look, this bond that the left wants to break between MAGA and this president, he survived so much. They have not been able to break the bond, not with 2 impeachments, not with 4 indictments, not with 91 criminal charges, and not by trying to kill him at a minimum twice. And she nails it, which is what pisses off the deep state, pisses off the left. Go.
He is a billionaire who left a life of luxury to serve the American people. He is somebody who is not doing it for power. He already had power. He's not doing it for fame. He already had fame. He's not doing it for the money. He already had money. He doesn't care. He wakes up every morning to all the insults and the hate and images of beheading by Kathy Griffith that his son can watch and be mortified that somebody actually really killed my dad. And then he remembers, I'm not doing this to please the media. I'm doing it because I'm fighting for the American people. They hate him because he is serving the American people. He is putting America first. And they do not know how to handle him. And that's why Donald Trump is resonating with a lot of people in this country, from CEOs of companies to janitors working for $10 an hour. Because from the janitor to the CEO, they know, and everybody in between, President Donald Trump is working for me. And it's a breath of fresh air because for decades now, we have had many presidents on the right and the left. Not many people could say, Barack Obama is working for me, or George Bush is working for me, or Clinton is working for me. But with Donald Trump, the janitor knows President Donald Trump is working for me. And that's why he's resonating with the people.
I love that. I don't know, to be honest, Brock, I don't know why I don't have dramatic theme music with really impressive timpani on there. I don't know what you're doing.
You would complain about.
No, I think that we need to,
No, you would complain.
In this commercial break, find something stirring and moving to underscore the brilliance of my dialogue with you. Okay, maybe not. But what she says is true. It's so basic. It's so authentic. It's so easy for this president. And they have to work so hard on the left to create the illusion of connection, to create some kind of story tale that Kamala Harris was electable and that they had to bring in little actors to pretend like they gave a crap about her. And what ended up happening was we could all see the discomfort of the forced fakery. It's all part of this storyline. It's all part of this wild simulation that I don't know about you guys, but I know I wouldn't mind waking up one day and being like, oh my gosh, it really was just one wild, never-ending dream. Donald Trump is the guy who's pulling the plug on all of this. It's brilliant. There are people who won't want to leave They don't want the good old days to ever end. They want to cling to the memories and walk around with their high school yearbook. Oh, you remember when? And then there are those of us who are like, look, high school was never our shining moment. We had great plans. And you know what? College wasn't the greatest either. And then we had to go build something, and we did that. And we're on to bigger and better things. We're ready for a new America. We're ready to make America great again. Period. And you're either with or you're without us. And if you're without us, okay. Bye-bye. When we come back, Caitlin Collins, resting man face over at CNN. She rudely interrupts a White House press briefing. Par for the course, but Caroline Leavitt, she's firing on all cylinders. Next. Disinfectwithsniper.com. So I was trying to tell you as I was like, blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Do you have to go there, prostate boy? Okay. Well, I'm after the age of 50, men really need to take care of things.
Wow. So now Nick Sorter is saying that the governor of Oklahoma will appoint a senator to finish out Mullins' term. But here's the problem. The governor of Oklahoma is a massive rhino. I wonder when Mullins' term is up. Oh, he was elected in a special election, and he was up for re-election this year. So whomever the Oklahoma governor would appoint would only be there, 6 months, maybe 7 months. These are the kind of things that to me are fun trying to figure out. And, a lot of times you're probably going to be completely wrong. But trying to figure out how things are working and trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. I just think it's funny that, who gets noticed that they're fired of? And apparently she's not fired. He's going to move her to somewhere else, special envoy or something. But March 31st, and then Cornyn comes out and says, or not Cornyn, Paxton comes out and says it's passed in the next 2 weeks. There's just a lot of things that make you go, So Markwayne Mullins' term was up. So whomever they appoint is only there for 7 months. Just saying.
This has all been planned. Yeah? Kind of feels like it, huh?
Kind of feels like it.
So, like those weird sucks of the oxygen. Like it's
yeah, we were just complaining, and
it's do you guys feel it? Do you watch it? Do you see it too? Where you're like, dang, it's like nothing going on. Why is nothing going on? And it's like, and then all of a sudden you're like, ew, because all of that's going on. I got
prostate is fine.
Well, that's his story, but I've got a different one. I know nothing about your prostate, so I'm speaking out of my
arse.
Yes.
Your wide seat.
Hey, how about we hit some rumbles here? We need 300 to go. We have 28 minutes. 300 sounds like a lot. It's not. It's not. There are 5,500 people watching. We got another 500 on X. We're slowly creeping back up after that weird whatever algorithm switch. Let me tell you about Ireland Contracting. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. IrelandContracting.com. How nice if you live in Western Pennsylvania, Southwestern Pennsylvania. What a joy to have these contractors in your zip code, because they'll come out to your house and they'll give you a free estimate. And that free estimate, whether it's for whole house new windows, which they're magnificent. You got to love them, IrelandContracting.com. A new roof, new siding, any of the things on the outside of your house that you'd like to zhuzh up a little bit. They can do that for you because that's their wheelhouse. Wouldn't you love to know what you can expect to be charged so that you know if you have the money to do it or not? So they'll come out, they'll look at the scope of your work, they'll help you choose what you need to do, and then they'll tell you what it's going to cost. And you can either be like, let's go, pull the trigger, or you're like, I need a little more time to save. You have a year. That estimate, if I'm not mistaken, good for a year. Why not? IrelandContracting.com. Get an idea.
If not, tell them Wendy said it was good for a year.
Start dreaming, right? Start making some plans. Start sprucing up your environment. Why not? If you can do it, why not? 1-800-NEW-ROOF. I love this. This is when Dan was joining. They're like, oh, we have great family news to share. Now, he's all grown up, married. Dan's like my son now. What are you shushing for?
Nothing.
What was that for?
No.
Were you scoffing at the sanctimony of marriage?
No.
Oh.
Don't put words in my mouth. Don't forget, tomorrow's Friday. Bad jokes, WBRBrock@gmail.com, WBRBrock@gmail.com. There will be a pet show on Saturday.
Probably not a weekend. Probably not weekends with me. Though if we surprised you, that'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it? What? You're probably going to be hungover.
No.
Boozer.
Wow.
Program. So if you're new to the show, my field is television news. And I did it for many, many decades. Well, a couple at least, almost 3. And so I have a very unique perspective about watching the demise of the media. And I think my husband feels much the same about medicine. I think Brock could probably say the same thing about radio. It's hard to watch things change. Right? But we're in this weird system of flux and everything is changing from education to medicine to technology to all of it. And we're kind of like on our toes moving all the time. And the deep state, the people who believe that they are all that they need to be paid attention to, that they're in charge, that this magic wand is all about them and you need to listen to what they say. These people are getting flushed out. And it's kind of fun. And in various ways, it happens. It happens at the government level. Kristi Noem just got replaced by Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, right? Or it happens in your district. It happens in your home. Well, I want you to hear what it's like when the media believes that they really are still paid attention to, even though CNN's ratings, I think they're down. Before President Trump took office the first time, right, 2017, I think they've lost something like 70% of their viewership. And that's just not survivable. You would think people would change, but they don't. Caitlin Collins interrupts Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, yesterday. And they're talking about Caitlin Collins asks about, are we not supposed to, as the members of the media, discuss the casualties, the American casualties, the inevitable American men and women service members who are going to lose their lives because of this military offensive against Iran? And she's making the claim that Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, was ticked. The media were glomming on to the deaths and not to the successes of the mission. He's like, look, we pray for these families. We know what's at stake. Nobody goes to attack somebody else lightly, not realizing there's going to be casualties. But it sure would be nice if all of the negative stuff wasn't all the stuff that you gave and made it front page news. It's so disingenuous. And so Caitlin tries to like fall on the altar, like, oh, are we not supposed to cover all of the deaths? And Caroline Levitt's like, look, lady, not on my watch. You darn well know what you do. You know that you're anti this president, hook, line, and sinker. And quite frankly, we're tired of your bias.
What Secretary Hegseth said this morning, is it the position of this administration that the press should not prominently cover the deaths of U.S. service members?
No, it's the position of this administration that the press in this room and the press across the country should accurately report on the success of Operation Epic Fury and the damage it is doing to the rogue Iranian regime that has threatened the lives of every single American in this room. If the Iranian regime had their choice, they would kill every single person in this room. And so we can all be very grateful that we have an administration and that we have men and women in our armed forces who are willing to sacrifice their own lives for the rest of us in this room and for every American across the country and for every troop that is based in the Middle East.
They can't rise for people at the State of the Union. They can't celebrate the closure of the border. They're not happy about the billions, trillions of dollars of tariff money coming in. They're not excited about the job creation. They don't care about the oil that's drilling, that's bringing down prices and is making manufacturing great again. They aren't for Americans at war. And it's like, what do we have to do for you to not be so ridiculously and unabashedly biased? Anything that you could say about this administration that will harm President Trump is clearly what CNN and Caitlin Collins are going to put out there. And this is exactly what Caroline Levitt drives home. Now, Collins interrupts Caitlin, which is just wild, and claims that the Secretary of War was annoyed that the media are covering the deaths at all. And this is where Caroline was like, look, no, your number one objective is to write anything or to say anything that makes this president look bad, and everybody sees it, and it's 6.
Hegseth was complaining that it was front page news about these 6 service members who were killed.
That's not what the secretary said, Caitlin, and that's not what the secretary meant, and you know it. You know you are being disingenuous. We've never had a Secretary of Defense who cares more.
Drones get through or tragic things happen. It's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad. Yeah, as you know, we cover the deaths of U.S. service members under every president.
The press does only want to make the president look bad. That's a fact.
That's a fact. That's a fact, and she called that out on live television. Anybody who was watching could see that. Then she goes on, and she hushes the gaggles. Now, this is something that's interesting. We didn't see Jen Psaki do this. We didn't see KJP, the box-checking debacle, low IQ individual that we had to slog through, have this kind of command. Trump has it. And Caroline Levitt has it with the media. They all start jammering like, oh, we don't do that. We're not trying to put out news that's bad for this administration solely. And literally, this is Caroline Levitt doing the Jedi mind trick. You know, those are not the droids you're looking for. Those are not the droids we're looking for. This is what she does. Shush. And everybody silences.
Listen to me, especially you and especially CNN. And the Secretary of Defense cares deeply about our war fighters and our men and women in uniform. He travels all across this country to meet with them, to connect with them, and your network has hardly ever probably reported on that. You also had the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Chairman Kane, who's a brave patriot, standing alongside the Secretary at the Pentagon this morning, again expressing his condolences to these families. And I just told you that the President of the United States will be attending their dignified transfer.
And so Caitlin Collins is going to interrupt again. And she's like, so what do you think? Since we're fake news, we're not going to cover the dignified transfer of bodies. Here's Caroline Levitt again.
So please,
That's not making the president look bad. That's showcasing that.
We expect you to cover that as you should. We expect you to cover that as you should, Caitlin. But you and your network know that you take every single thing this administration says and tries to use it to make the president look bad. That is an objectable fact.
I don't think covering troop deaths is trying to make.
If you're trying to argue right now that CNN's overwhelming coverage is not negative of President Donald Trump, I think the American people would tend to agree, and your ratings would tend to disagree with that as well.
So President Trump is going to be on the tarmac where the bodies of the dead service members come back to America. You know what CNN did not cover? When that happened under Joe Biden, when the 13 U.S. service members were killed at Abbey Gate during that debacle. Remember when he made the grieving families wait as he took a nap on his plane on the tarmac? Do you remember that? Because I remember that. Do you remember him endlessly looking annoyed and checking his watch as though he had somewhere to be? That is someone who's not all there, ladies and gentlemen. He needed a nap. And he was checking his watch like he was no longer with us. And you know who didn't cover that? Not one lick? CNN. So, Caitlin, do us all a favor and suck it. This is Jake Tapper, by the way. He then has Caitlin Collins on his program, and he's completely narcissistically wacko. And he's like, I mean, to think that we at CNN would try to cover only negatively. This had been, it's like outrageous. And meanwhile, everybody else with a functioning brain is like, do you realize that we all know how much you suck? Do you not know that? Because we know that. Listen.
It really is the height of solipsism and narcissism to think that our coverage of fallen warriors has anything to do with how we cover a president. I'm just utterly shocked that Hegseth and now Caroline Leavitt are saying it. I don't even really know what to say. It's so offensive. I don't care what they think about us. It's so offensive to the families who deserve coverage. There's one thing that you can say about the news media, or just this country, we don't pay enough attention as a nation to fallen veterans. There should be more coverage, whoever's in the building behind you. Caitlin Collins at the White House, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. And by the way, here's my book that's on sale now. And it's on sale at Amazon, right? I haven't sold enough. They told me that if I put it out there, I'd get a New York Times best-selling book deal, but it hasn't really done that well, right? Please, Jake, you're such a schmuck. You are so transparently unbelievable. It's just uncomfortable. And so I'm going to Jen Psaki back to the opening of this. Look, I was a television news anchor for 30 years, almost 30 years, right? This whole vitriol that they have for this administration, it's all part of the mental illness. It's all part of the disease called the derangement syndrome. It's weird. It's like you're in a two-way mirror, right? We can see everything that's going on, and the person inside has no idea that they are being so abundantly clear. Jake, don't be so aghast. Don't be so, I just can't believe it. Doesn't he think that we should cover the transfer of bodies? I mean, we need to pay more attention to these service members, right? Well, where were you when the Biden administration was having them wear G-strings, paint their nails, and wear rainbow camo, right? Jake, right? Oh, Jake. He's going to be up there with so many people. Oh, Dick. Oh, Jake. We can see right through. So there you go. And you have this beautiful, I think it's a very classy, I think it's a very respectable, a very direct and it's an unflappable core in this inner sanctum of this administration. Caroline Leavitt had 17 different reasons to fly off the handle. And I'll be honest with you, I probably would. I'd want to throat punch one of those people. I'd want to take Caitlin Collins and throw her down the stairs. And this administration is keenly aware of the optics it has to put out of civility and function as it celebrates this whole idea that, by golly, it's America freaking first. It's America's interest first. It's always going to be America first. And if you're on the America last bandwagon, Iran, I understand, is really lovely this time of year. John Fetterman, by the way, says he's an eye on Mark Wayne Mullen. Yeah, that just happened too. Quick time out when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program. All right, let's talk about this video I talked about yesterday of a young boy reportedly working at a gas station late at night to support his sister. AI, or was it real? Why it matters marching forward. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Kelly Morgan, morgainsfitness.com.
Why do all your jingles sound the same?
It's true. You're right. I don't know. Do you want to see some butts? How are you doing? Want to see
some wide seats that aren't so wide anymore?
Do you want to see some incredibly shrinking butts? Look at the before and after. Look at the buff.
She went from not wide seat to not wide seat.
Look at the before and after.
I'd grab it.
Look, wow. Look. You'd grab it?
Yeah.
You'd grab her butt?
Sure.
Oh my God. Morgain's Fitness, we've now crossed over into another echelon. M-O-R-G-A.
Am I going to get investigated?
You know what's interesting, though? I want you to look at the width of her. Look at the width of her abdomen. Look at her waist. Look at this. Versus this. That's crazy. That's inches. That's inches. That's 90 days of knowing how to eat, what to eat, when to eat, and how to exercise. And you're like, how am I going to learn that? Well, you're going to go to morgainsfitness.com and you're going to scroll up the page and you're going to hit the button that says 90 Ignite. And then you're going to get on the waiting list and you're going to be like, hey, I'm Sue from Tacoma and I really want to lose some weight. I want to get on this 90-day program because bathing suit season's coming up, sister, and I got to get at it. Let's go. Let's go. From the comfort and the privacy of your computer. Unless, of course, you live in southwestern Pennsylvania and you want to just join, or western Pennsylvania, I should say, and you want to just walk on in and join morgainsfitness.com. Who wouldn't? God, a French dip.
I would say that she would appreciate me grabbing her tush with my soft hands.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Very nice segue. That was well played.
Thank you.
I'm going to take another hit. But I will tell you, to Brock's point, you put it on, you put this tulip blooms on. If you have really dry hands, dry cuticles, put them on, hang out for a while, then you go to the bathroom and you have to wash your hands. And you're like, oh man, I just washed it all off. No, because then you come back and my hands are still soft and my cuticles are still moisturized even after washing my hands. So I didn't wash it off.
The ladies would appreciate it.
Are you
gentlemen?
Wow.
Ladies would appreciate it.
When you're grabbing their keisters that your hands are soft when you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I'm just telling you, you guys,
search for the butt squeezing
it's
serum.
called the velour massage oil under the soothe button. It's going to change your world.
And your hands.
And your hands.
And your feet.
And your feet.
I can't wait to use it on my feet.
Thanks, Wendy. You're the best.
Well, it's not like it's here.
How long have I been talking about this?
It feels like forever.
Wow. Well, you can buy your own freaking velour massage oil.
Well, apparently Kristi Noem is going to be moved to the special envoy for the Shield of America. This new Western Hemisphere security initiative launches Saturday in Doral, Florida.
As part of his tweet. Mm-hmm. What else have you sent me that I haven't been on top of? My Lord. Let's see.
I don't have to do anything the rest of the day now.
170 guys. Come on. 170 people to push us over 300. 170. I hate harping and I'm sorry, but it's that bubble, the thumbs up. radio program. You know, this has been something that's happened in my house a couple times just in the last week. And it's my husband or me saying something, to each other, usually with our son, Jack, who I call the lurker. Do you have a lurker? Somebody who likes to eavesdrop? He eavesdrops. So he's like in the hallway or he's somewhere else and you don't see him. It's like a ghost. And then he interjects something and you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? And Joe's like, hey, did you see the really cool video about blah, blah, blah? And then he read me all sorts of stuff and Jack floats in and he's like, yeah, that was AI. And Joe's like, oh, really? Okay. And then I did it yesterday. I'm like, oh, there's this video. Did you guys see it? It's this little boy. He's like 12. Well, he wasn't. He's 16 apparently in this video. And his parents died and he's taking care of his sister and blah, 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 blah. And it was so sweet. And that's the country I want to live in. And Jack's like, or you guys were like, that's AI too. So I searched. I'm going to play it for you. And then I'm going to play for you as I searched, is this real or is this Memorex, right? Is this live or is this Memorex? If you guys are products of the 1970s like I am. This is the story I was talking about.
Don't let them take me. A 16-year-old was caught working night shifts illegally at a gas station. When the judge asked why, his answer broke everyone's heart.
Your Honor, I'm 16. My parents died in a car accident last year. My little sister, she's 6. CPS wanted to split us up, different foster homes. I lied about my age, got a night job at the gas station. I make $400 a week. My neighbor watches my sister while I work. I get her to school, make her breakfast, help with homework. We're making it work, but they caught me. Now they want to take her away and charge me with fraud.
Your Honor, child labor laws exist for a reason. He's 14 working overnight shifts. This is dangerous and illegal. He falsified documents. The charges are appropriate, and the child needs proper placement.
This boy lost his parents and has been raising his 6-year-old sister alone for a year, working nights, getting her to school. And you want to separate them? Charges dismissed. Ordering immediate kinship guardianship evaluation. This court will find legal ways to keep them together. You're not losing your sister, son. Not in my court.
I so desperately want to believe that. I don't, actually. I don't want to believe that there is a 16-year-old boy out there who somehow slipped through the cracks, whose parents were killed in a terrible accident, who's trying to keep his 6-year-old sister with him. I don't want to think that that's something that anybody in our country would go through. But the more I started, this is a real problem that you and I are going to have to figure out together. And I don't know the answer. So this is a fact check. And I don't know if I believe this. It's leadstories.com/hoax alert. All right. So fact checked. AI generated video is fake emotional courtroom story about a boy who worked illegally to care for his sister. Now, how many of you, especially if you're watching the live video stream, you would have fallen for that? I'm still not convinced it's not real. I'm being told it's not. This is what it says. Does real video show a court case involving a teen who illegally worked night shifts in order to care for his sister after their parents died? No, that's not true. This video is AI generated. The story does not include any specifics about names, locations, or dates. The video appears to show 3 different courtrooms and contains glitches typical of AI-generated material. The hug between the little sister and her brother is especially awkward, as she seems to reach with her elbow first before her lower arm morphs to complete the embrace. This video was posted on TikTok on February 25th of this year and it shows the person. It says it was captioned 16-year-old blah, or 16-year, whatever it is. And it shows you why it says that it's fake. Now, let me ask you this. I wouldn't have even thought about that. I wouldn't have even thought that somebody would make that up. Not in a million years. Like, why would somebody do that? How easy is it to do? I don't know. So that's just a video. That's just a nothing. It's something that caught my attention. Imagine if it's something much worse. Imagine if it's a sitting member of Congress hitting their social media and alleging something that's been cooked up or what have you, or somebody making an allegation about somebody that you know or care about. How are we supposed to decipher this? I don't know. I don't know. I personally find it very confusing and very unsettling. Like we're a nation that hungers authenticity. I think that's why Sydney, the gentleman who sat down next to me at the AAA Motor Center yesterday as I was waiting to renew my real ID, just started to talk. I'm not so sure he was looking for me to say anything back. He just wanted to be around somebody, wanted it to be real. This world we're walking into does not feel like that. It feels very manipulative. And so while I don't have the answers, and I can say glibly, keep your head on a swivel, do, because things are changing and they're changing quickly. And we can't slip through the cracks. Well, what started as a Newsday vacuum. My. Kristi Noem out as the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen in. What does that mean? I have no idea, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. Love you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. Peace.